All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Monday, April 25th, 2022. And in the news, Elon Musk on the verge of purchasing Twitter. And of course, it was April 14th that he offered to buy all shares for $54 per share, which was a $43 billion offer, as they reported. And now today, exactly 43 weeks after his birthday, this on April 25th, the 115th day of the year. And if you're new here, again, we talk about Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Through this practice, you can see who the puppets of the world are, from Elon Musk to Donald Trump, who so many people think are heroes. And again, you know that shortly we will read the headline that Trump's been reinstated on Twitter just in time for the campaign season for the upcoming election, which will fall on November 5th, 2024, 115. Remember, Trump took office with the 115th Congress. Well, here we are on April 25th, the 115th day of the year. And in Gematria, Twitter equals 115. And again, if you're new here, it's very simple code. It's based on the alphabetic order in the most simple cipher. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5. You add up the letters of Twitter. T is the 20th letter, W is the 23rd, I is the 9th, so on. Twitter adds up to 115. So on the 115th day of the year, this big Twitter news. And this is just par for the course when it comes to Elon Musk and all these other puppets that we read about in the news. Remember, Elon Musk was reported to have passed Jeff Bezos in net wealth for the first time ever on the 78-year anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla. And of course, his electric car company is Tesla Motors. But the reason it mattered that it was the 78-year anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla when that headline broke January 7th, 2021, is because in Gematria, Tesla equals 78, just like Jesuit. And this number 115 is important to the Jesuits. It's also important to the Masons, and we're going to talk more about that. Again, those are the two big entities that are in Washington, D.C., this nation's federal headquarters. But again, Gematria is so simple. Every single day with this simple code, you can see right through the headlines. Every single day. And again, for all the people who say, how do you take advantage of this financially? I mean, they've been giving you all the clues about, Twitter's stock price surging and Elon Musk taking over, Mr. Money, Mr. Brilliance. He's another Bill Gates of his time, right? And the thing is, when you learn this knowledge, you start to see that Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, these guys are fronts. They're fronts for the real entity that controls these platforms, which are, at this day and age, all big into censorship and controlling information. And a lot of people are thinking Elon Musk is going to be, the opposite of this. He's going to come back and reinstate Donald Trump, and people aren't seeing the show. They're not understanding that Donald Trump's Jesuit educated like Joe Biden, and that essentially it's a fraternity of Jesuits playing good cop, bad cop, and steering us all to destruction. And think about it. I mean, Elon Musk, he's Mr. Artificial Intelligence, Mr. Automatic Cars. He's the face of the technology that's going to replace humanity, or one of the faces of. But look at this. From his June 28th birthday, and don't forget, my channel got deleted for the first time on his birthday, and that was June 28th, 2017. I always think about that. And again, he's another guy I've been exposing for all these years. But anyway, June 28th, his birthday. From his birthday to this news on the 115th day of the year, it's exactly 43 weeks. And his name does have Gematria 43. Again, if you're new here, Gematria is based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, and forwards and backwards with the rules numerology. We call it the 4 base ciphers. You know these 4 ciphers. You see through the totality of the rituals. When I first began, I only knew 2 ciphers. And just remember, just last week on April 14th, did you notice on that day, the anniversary of the Titanic sinking, they had to tell you that a Russian Navy vessel sank? It's like, come on, man. Again, same Jesuits running the whole show over there in Russia, Ukraine. But notice it was a $43 billion offer, right? Now, 43 weeks after the birthday, dead on the nose, They're saying he's on the verge of taking it over. But notice, the reason he offered $54 per share, the reason it was $54 per share on April 14th, written 14/4, is because with the alphabetic order, Jesuit order is 144. With the alphabetic order and rules numerology, Jesuit order is 54. If you've ever seen They Live, it's Cable 54 that's the enemy of the world. John Carroll, whose name equals 54 in the same cipher, established the first Jesuit university when he was 54 years old. These numbers get used redundantly by this gang. So just think about it, a $54 offer, $54 per share offer on 14/4. And again, when I first started, these were the only two ciphers I knew from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages, a man who was a 33rd degree Mason. And we're going to talk more about that. So moving on down the line, Nikola Tesla, he died in 43. So Tesla died in 43. Again, on the 78-year anniversary of his death, where Tesla's 78 and Jesuit's 78, we got the headline about Musk passing Bezos for the first time in net wealth. Again, there's been a lot of stories we covered over the years with all these guys that all point to the same Jesuit number code. But again, $54 per share offer on 14/4. Now notice, again, Trump's going to become a big part of this storyline. A lot of people in the world who see what's wrong, they're looking for a savior, right? And they look to Donald Trump, they look to Elon Musk, they see these guys saying things that go against, the other part of the mainstream narrative, and they think that they're the ones to solve the day. You got billionaires, right? They got money, they got resources, they got wealth. They have the stuff it's going to take to change the world. Again, our community has the message. We just don't have the resources, right? If we had billions of dollars, we could have billboards up all over, advertisements on TV all day. And that's why I keep saying, there's so many people in the comments like, oh, Zach wants $1 million a month, though. I'm saying if we had $1 million a month, that would be a lot of money to achieve a lot of things. We could put up billboards. We could put up advertisements. We could get out the word in a lot bigger way. You know what I mean? So again, it takes resources to do things. That's why people believe in Elon Musk and Trump, because these are billionaires with media attention. They have all the things that, that people say like, okay, that's what it takes to change the world. So that's why they believe in these people. Anyway, notice that from Trump's birthday to today's news is his 316th day of his age. And of course, we're talking about the Jesuits, who are the Society of Jesus. In Hebrew Gematria, Jesus equals 316 with the Hebrew language. But notice that Jesuit motto, Ad Merum Dei Gloriam, spelled the French way, it has Gematria 316, and it means for the greater glory of God. And what else is interesting is that phrase also has Gematria of 92 and 115, and here we are on the 115th day of the year, again, connecting to Twitter, right? On the 115th day of the year, and notice, forwards and backwards, that motto is 92 with numerology, 115 in reverse with numerology. How much is his stake right now before the full purchase? 9.2%, right? 9.2%. Again, the upcoming elections on November 5th. Trump, when he became president, he took office with the 115th Congress. And you might recall that he went on the thank you tour. You might recall this, the thank you tour, Trump and Pence. Thank you equals 115. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, with the 115th conference, he's on the thank you tour. Have you ever seen anybody go on a thank you tour before? I'd never seen it. And I was pointing this out at the time. So, keep in mind 9.2, the key digits in that 9 and 2, 9 plus 2 is 11, right? And today's 11 days after the April 14th offer. And just building on the ritual, the Ad Merum Dei Gloriam is 316 in reverse. If you run it forwards, it's 143. So you see we're covering all the base ciphers here. And that matters because Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 143. The word Masonic is 115 and 43. Again, here we are 43 weeks after Elon Musk's birthday on the 115th day of the year. And the thing about this motto, Ad Merum Dei Gloriam, it's shared by the Jesuits as well as the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. At the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, they share this motto. I have this older post on this that I'll bring up. Posted this November 25th, 2018. But there's 32 flames coming off the sun on the Jesuit logo. And again, Admirum Dei Gloriams has the 115 like Masonic, like France. The Jesuits are originally from France. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry came to power in France. So many of the founders of this nation studied in France. L'Enfant, who laid out D.C., the federal city where the Jesuits and Masons are, he's French. But these numbers right here. Scroll down. Again, them sharing the motto at the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite. Scottish is 32 like America. The nation was established on a 32 date numerology. Again, 32 sun rays. Freemasonry also has the gematria of 158. And remember, the Jesuits, their birthday is August 15th, 15/8 in Paris, France. In the UK, remember at one point we had the bad barbershop brothers as world leaders. We had Donald Trump in the US and we had Boris Johnson in the UK with the same goofy haircut essentially. And in the UK, the Prime Minister's, where he resides at 10 Downing Street, above the door is the Jesuit Order's logo. And remember, Boris Johnson equals 158. He replaced Theresa May exactly 158 weeks after she took office. So again, you follow these patterns, you look at the symbols, you look at the education of these people, you look at the ritual day after day. It's not hard to see who's pulling the strings. And again, things are hidden in plain sight. It's just like we just got back from Oklahoma City. That bombing on April 19th, the day in history Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general of the Jesuits. What's directly across the street from the bomb site? A Catholic church. What's directly behind the bomb site? The Masonic temple. You know? And here's the thing, too. I mean, that was a ritual sacrifice, you guys. The Masonic temple... meant to write out Mason. The Masonic temple was established in 1922, directly behind the bomb site. That means the bomb went off 73 years later in 95. And where Mason is 73 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, sacrifice is 73 with the alphabetic order, whereas ritual sacrifice is also 73. And again, all this stuff's biblical. How many books are in the Catholic Bible? There's 73 books. 73 is the 21st prime. Bible is 21. Jesuits 21. Elon Musk, he became a 9.2% owner of the Twitter stock on April 4th. 4-4. What's today? The 25th, 21 days later. Jesuit 21. You know? It's a Monday. It's a moon number. Moon's 21. Lunar's 21. All of this occult significance. These people are into numerology, astrology, you know, the cycles of the moon. They plan their rituals accordingly, and they execute them perfectly. You know, the moon's ruled by Cancer. Cancer's 44. He became a 9.2% owner on 4-4. Now, on a Monday named after the moon, you know, with all the ritual being right, this. And understand, these things really are important. If I write out moon, notice it's also 57, right? Moon's also 57. There's something about the moon's orbit and it moving 57 degrees back and forth in relation to the Earth as it orbits. Look it up. It's all facts. But Scottish Rite also has that 57 in it. You know, none of this stuff is arbitrary. Georgetown is 57. The first Jesuit university named after George Washington, who turned 57 the year it was established in 1789. And, you know, again, just the way it all comes together. The Jesuits, again, there's not an easier example to understand than Georgetown. Named after a Freemason as the first Jesuit university in the Masonic city where the Jesuits have been longer than the Masons and the federal government. And, I mean, you look at the truth community, a lot of people are on to the Masons, but they totally miss the whole Jesuit point, which is actually, you know, more the boss standing in the shadows more so. And again, modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. June 24th, 1717 in London. And don't forget what happened last year on June 24th. A building came down. What are the Masons known for? Building, construction. Again, the connections through the Catholic churches. The nicest buildings in most town built by the best builders, the Masons. That's why modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. So anyway, you can just see the narrative, you guys. You can see the narrative. And with regards to Freemasonry being a huge part of this, remember, the election that Trump won was the 58th presidential election. He announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. The election he lost was the 59th election to Joe Biden Remember, we said why Biden would win. Pope Francis 59 in the most pure cipher, just like John F. Kennedy. And that election was the 59th presidential election that Biden won was exactly 46 weeks after Pope Francis' birthday, as he becomes number 46 when JFK was killed at age 46. And again, Catholics 46. And there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. Catholics also 35 when you run it the other way. JFK number 35, killed at age 46. Biden number 46, inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. JFK killed right at Interstate 35, which runs up to Oklahoma City on the 35th parallel. Again, the Catholics behind all this stuff, the Jesuit Catholic military order behind all of these major rituals, and again, behind puppets like Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And again, the other thing is, you guys, we're late in the game. People really need to come together. They need to get behind the real people who are speaking out in the world, the real people putting out information that can change the course of history for the better, that can stop the evil. And I am urging everyone to stop following and supporting the liars and the frauds and the deceivers in this community. And that's a lot of people on YouTube. And I want you to see who one of these people is. High Impact Flicks. Look at what he posted on April 14th. Keep in mind, this man's name is Brian Young, right? And he spent the last 2 years slandering me and my reputation in this work. And he continues to bring up the same talking points, acting as if those talking points haven't been destroyed. But on April 14th, he's posting things like this, 14/4. And, he's writing, is Gematria a clever distraction designed to suck away your time, or are there a practical application for Gematria that will enhance your life, improve your relationships, and help you to mentally and financially cope with the reality that presents itself every day? I mean, it's just ridiculous to be asking this. First of all, there's people in this world who no longer work a day job because they make money from this knowledge, taking advantage of the stock market and rig sports, okay? That's a real fact, That is a real fact. There's a lot of people who've escaped their slave job because of this knowledge. Is that what the knowledge should be about? No. What the knowledge is, the reason I put the knowledge out is to help people see how we're being deceived politically, with the news, how people are wasting their time with this sports and this entertainment that's controlled by evil people. So if you believe in knowledge is power and the truth will set you free, that can all help your happiness. So can it enhance your life? Absolutely. Can it improve your relationships? Absolutely. Look at the gathering we just had in Brian's backyard. Brian lives right there by Oklahoma City and couldn't show up for the event, couldn't promote the event one time. And what he had to do was flee to Las Vegas for the day of and do his first ever live stream on the pavement. So congrats to you, Brian. I'm glad that we inspired you to get outside and do a live stream. And, you chose to go to Trump Tower in Las Vegas and talk about how there's gold in every window. I mean, that was a nice little trivia fast fact. But again, it was good to see that it inspired you to flee your own city to save face, but at least get out on the street and try to promote some kind of knowledge, even if it's just that there's gold specks in every window at the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. But again, if you read his thread, he got roasted by the people who he got roasted in the comments. And in there, he's leaving the same question that he keeps saying over and over for 2 years. He says the same talk about every time. I don't understand how gematria of English can be important when there's so many languages in the world. And I mean, do all the languages equal the same thing? And it's like, God, this is just such an annoying thing because I've addressed it so many times. And just watch, he'll continue to do the same thing like it hasn't been said. English was created as we know it with the 26-letter alphabet, standardized as we know it, in the 16th century, the same century the calendar came out, named after the Pope. What's the word Pope equal? 52. How many weeks in the year for the calendar named after the Pope? 52 weeks in the year. But the language and the calendar, both from the 16th century and both a few decades after the Jesuits were established, and it's very clear, not to mention the oldest known English script is credited to the Catholic monk Burford of Ramsey Abbey in England. But it's very clear that all of this came from the Catholic Church. They created another language. I mean, was there any reason to create another language? How many languages existed in the world before English? But it's so obvious. English is their creation that's meant to be synced up with the calendar, that's meant to be synced up with their world rituals that go on every day that are helping them build their agenda. And I've asked Brian 1,000 times to do a live stream. having a conversation with me, but he always makes it about, oh, I don't want to do it with him. I don't like him. He's a mean person, and he's so condescending, and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, dude, you're having literally white supremacists on your channel that you're having conversations with, like Adam Green, total shill. You'll bring him on your platform, a guy that misleads people and says it's all about Israel when you can prove it's not. With this knowledge, you can prove it's all about the Jesuits, and that's why Israel's a Jesuit creation. Don't forget the Jesuits are Catholic and Jewish. Again, it all came together with the Protestant Reformation. But to be writing this, and then on April 14th, it's just funny. And you can see how uncomfortable Brian was in Las Vegas. If you guys noticed, what's hilarious is he uploaded a video of what happened to me. First of all, just to clarify things, when I got to the memorial in Oklahoma City, this is what his video is right here. OKC Tyrants just couldn't leave the cameraman alone. This is his backup channel. Notice he didn't put my name or Gematria in the title. He said cameraman, but it's not even really a good title because I did not come on the property with a camera. I was not recording anything. I was just walking up to the front door with the intention of paying $15 to go through the museum and see if I could get more information and do more research. I'd never been to Oklahoma City before. But as I came up to the door, the security guard came up and asked if I was Zach Hubbard, and I said, yes, I am. And then he immediately put hands on and started to try to shove me off the property, and I told him to chill, and he should get his hands off me because I haven't done anything wrong, which he did for a minute, but then he called Pat, who came out and shoved me around. But I essentially had 3 people pushing me off the property together, and without an explanation of why. And but no, I wasn't a cameraman. I did pull out the camera once they went hands-on to record what was happening. But I was just walking up to the front door like anybody else who comes to that building with the intention of, going through. And, what's comical is in the beginning of the video, Brian makes the point to his audience, is like, I'd recommend for anybody who's out there, to not go alone and have somebody else with them in case this happens. And he makes the point because it's hard for me to pick up the way I'm getting shoved around because, I'm holding the camera while they're, it's not picking up everything. But it's just like for him to really make that comment in light of the fact that I invited him to promote it and be there 1,000 times and even joked. I said, hey, Brian, we could use your big muscles on the scene, man. And then for him to make a video like, if you're going to do this, it's good to have a group of people with you. He's the guy who could have been there. He lives there. I had to drive 30 hours to be there. 30 hours one direction. I did 60 hours of driving in a week, you guys. A lot of driving. But you notice his next video. His next video is him in Las Vegas. He never does anything like this. But it just shows. It just shows that he had to flee town. He's right there in Oklahoma City, but he had to do a live stream in Vegas to show like, oh, the reason I'm not there is because I'm in Las Vegas right now at the Trump Tower, and just his whole story. I mean, I had this playing. I had this playing in the background. I probably missed some of it, but I was making dinner, and I was doing the big special dinner since I was back from Sweet Lady. So about an hour of preparation. So I had his video going, his live stream in Vegas. I was just laughing, man. But he doesn't do things like this, and it's just so obvious, man. It's so transparent. Brian, you are so transparent. You're like Donald Trump on the campaign tour saying he's thankful for dumb people because he knows without dumb people he's not going to have any following. And it's the same thing with you, Brian. You're not going to have any following if there's not dumb people. You are the most transparent fraud on this platform. And it's really sick, man. It's really sick. Because, some of your videos, you do talk a halfway good game. You're right that the two-party system's bought out, the news media's propaganda. But you're not willing to go beyond that. You're not willing to name names. You're not willing to show that it really is occultists who run this society and how they operate by occult principles. This is what you're doing. You're gatekeeping on that. Is gematria a clever distraction? I mean, this is just such a pathetic fucking question to ask on April 14th, 2022, when I've been here for almost 9 years straight showing every day how simple this code is and how it's undeniable that this goes on every day. You're not a big Obama guy. Obama's at the White House the other day to promote the Affordable Care Act again. That equals 121. How many days was it from his birthday? 121 days. 8 days before that, Biden is signing the Emmett Till bill. Emmett Till equals 129. That was 129 days after Biden's birthday, 129 days before Obama's birthday. And Biden was 12 years and 9 months old when Emmett Till was killed. And again, there's a lot more to say about that 129 number. It's not an accident that Georgetown's 129, the Jesuits right there in D.C. who are writing the scripts for these puppets. But I mean, just day after day, there's just so many examples. The April 12th subway shooting on the anniversary of the start of the Civil War, blamed on a black man while you got a black mayor. Underground Railroad, slavery. The word slavery is 102. The word police is 102. I mean, this stuff's going on all the time. I'm here in Yakima. Yakima also equals 102 like police. We just had the police officer in Yakima speak out against the governor here, and then he dies 102 days after the Fox News interview. Again, and I'm just, I mean, there's a million examples. There's a million examples. This stuff's not a coincidence day after day. It's not a distraction. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power. It's the knowledge to see through the theater. Brian's taken by the theater in half of his videos. You know, Brian is taken by the theater of these things in half of his videos. He doesn't understand it, or he doesn't want to. He wants to feed into the narrative. And, you know, again, Brian, I'm going to bring it. Brian, if you guys saw Brian's work when the George Floyd thing happened, Brian was, you know, making dramatic music, you know, trying to really go after how evil police are and say, look at this latest thing. And understand, I'm not a big fan of police. However, I got to say, in Oklahoma City, they have a lot better police than Seattle and Portland. And we had a police officer. He was just so happy to be around us, man. He just opened up. He just watch the water. He just wanted to talk about everything. I mean, he should have a truth channel. But he wouldn't have believed Fake Mike Real News was recording and then he shut it down. He shouldn't have shut it down because Fake Mike Real News likes to expose cops, but then he found that this cop was just like him. And it's like, dude, you should have kept recording that and put that on your channel to say, man, we found the realest cop there ever was. But, and by the way, the cops down there thought it was pretty fucked up what they did to me at the museum, but, you know, they know at the end of the day they got to follow their orders. And by the way, the one thing that Brian, technically, he might have thought it was true, but what we found out is Brian in the video says that this shouldn't have been able to do to me. They shouldn't have been able to do this to me because it's a public place. What's messed up is it's actually not a public place, even though it gets public funds from the federal government. This is a true example of fascism, this memorial museum, because it gets government funds, but it counts as a private place because the majority of its funding is private, and my guess is it's coming from that Masonic lodge, you know, that's directly behind it, the Masonic temple established in 1922. But, you know, I even had the police come out and say, yeah, this is technically not public grounds. This is private grounds, so they have the right to keep you off it for any reason they want. And, yeah, there is something that needs to be took up about this and investigated further, because should they be getting federal money if it's technically private? I mean, it seems like a conflict of interest, but it is a true example of fascism. Anyway, coming back to Brian just doing this, it's just such a joke. And again, I mean, if you watch Brian in Vegas, you can see he's not comfortable. This isn't something he wanted to do. It was something he was put up to save face. And, you know, the other thing I noticed is Brian might have a bigger number than me on YouTube, but I know he's not as well known as me in Vegas, man. When I go to Vegas, I can't walk on those streets without people recognizing me, and that's because, again, a lot of people who gamble follow me. But didn't seem like anybody noticed Brian or recognized him out there, despite the 500,000 followers. So, anyway, Brian, you should have been there. We're going to do it again next year. Like I said, we got to do it every single year. We got to keep coming back to Oklahoma City, April 19th, because it really is a true American tragedy waged by our government against us. It's another lie. It's another story. And it was another big brick in the wall of building the surveillance state that we're now living in, where we're being disarmed of our rights and liberties. Oklahoma City, April 19th, 95 was one of the biggest rituals that took place. And that's why people got to continue to show up there year after year and demand justice and demand truth. And, you know, like I said, I was there for a week this year. And over the course of that week, probably about a total of 100 people came out. At our biggest moment, we probably had 60 people there gathered all at once. And that's great. But honestly, in another way, it's also sad because that there should have been at least 1 million people there. And that's why I began promoting it 3 months in advance. And I asked Brian and everybody else who has a platform. And again, you guys, understand, these channels that have big followings, they're not real. A Call for an Uprising is a fake truth channel. And again, and just a real weirdo. If you guys have seen all the weird shit that he's posted to me and just how he'll spam me for 24 hours with the most demonic shit you ever said, or you've ever seen while he says he's about Jesus, which couldn't be any further from the truth. And, you know, Russian vids, another fraud. I can just go down the whole list. Pretty much all you see on YouTube are a bunch of frauds. Nearly every channel that has a platform is a fraud. And I hate to say that, but they are. Otherwise, they'd be out on the streets like me. They'd be promoting Gematria. They'd be promoting Oklahoma City April 19th. So I'm telling you guys, stop supporting these channels. Let their channels just wither and die. They don't need to be here. They're interference. They're sucking up resources from the truth community. Brian, just did a huge renovation on his home. The guy's making a lot of money. And he has there's not one iota in his body where he's really about any real change in this world or about doing anything for humanity. He's about following what's trending, promoting more t-shirts, more basement snacks, more flashlights, more solar chargers. And there is a time and a place for all those products, don't get me wrong. But why give your resources to somebody who's doing absolutely nothing for the world? And that is an exact statement. Absolutely nothing's what he's doing. If you think him talking about how the two-party system's, a distraction and the news is a deception, it's like, so what, man? How many people have said that before him? How many more people already know that? He's not bringing anything new to the world. And case in point, somebody who is bringing something that's not necessarily new, but something that's not known to the masses, something that's been hidden, something that's exclusive to the rulers of this world. Look at what he's doing for that. He's trying to slander it all the time. He's trying to put it down. The thing that really does connect the dots and prove who's running the show, he's trying to put that down every day. So he's not about anything. And the reality is, all the money and resources he sucked up, and he might play this clip later and say, oh, what a arrogant asshole. Honestly, imagine all that money had come to me. Me. And yes, I do say me, because you know what? I put money back into the community. Is Brian running a website right now for $1,000 a month to help people organize a network? I've been running that for going on 3 years now. Not to mention I had to pay the big fee to get it built. That's expensive. That I put about, when I think about it, I put close to $50,000 into that project. And I'm glad I have, but it hasn't done what I hoped it would do. It hasn't brought people together in the way it should and organize a network. And maybe it's because there's not that many people in the world willing to do it. But the point is, I'm putting a lot of money back into the community. I go out and give away hoodies. I just drove a huge amount and gave away a whole bunch of hoodies and books and, didn't collect $1 for any of it. I gave away a lot of merchandise, hotels, travel fees. I'd do this stuff way bigger if I had more resources. And I know there's trolls all around saying I'm making like $1 million a year. That's bullshit. I'm not making anywhere near that. These people are probably the same agents that were down there harassing us. I guarantee you Brian's making way more with all of his basement mint snacks, nails, and all that than I am. And the problem is, all of that money that's being funneled to Brian, it's not going to go back into making any positive change in this world. If I had big resources coming in a month, we'd be doing way bigger things. Again, I wish there were more resources coming in to put up advertisements all over. I know we got the gentleman right now in New York who's offered the billboard space in Times Square. I need to talk to him more about that. I'm worried about him. I'm worried about him if he puts up a billboard in Times Square for this work. I mean, it would be awesome, but I honestly do legitimately worry about what might happen to him. And there has been consequences for putting out this work. And that's the thing, too, that's a joke about Brian. He's always talking a good game about how we got to come together and do things. And then, man, we bring it right to his own backyard and he flees town. That's the kind of guy this guy is. He was talking about how it was $400 a night at that hotel. So that's where the truth resources went. So he could stay in the Trump Tower for $400 a night and, tell you that there's bits of gold in every window. So you invest in Brian, that's where your money goes. He'll spend money to flee town, to not be part of the rally, and stay in a $400 a night hotel and tell you it's the only hotel that was open in Vegas. What a load of shit. Do you know how many hotels are in Vegas? Do you know how many just cheap hotels are right off the strip? The only place you could stay in Vegas, Brian, was the Trump Tower. Talk about a load of shit. You must think your audience is retarded. And not to mention you were there in the middle of the week. I mean, that's not even prime time. So it's just, again, you guys got to cut off these channels. I'm serious. Cut off these channels. Support a real truth seeker, a real truth speaker. Let's pool resources. Let's buy land. Let's create Truth Seekerville. I mean, there's things that need to happen. You drain out all these. Brian stops getting supported, he'll just vanish. And really, he just needs to vanish. Brian needs to be gone from the truth community because he's not really about it. He's about leeching from the truth community. He's about gatekeeping. A call for an uprising, same thing. A call for an uprising sees that I start a successful website, free to find truth, so people can post. and not have to fear censorship. And then what's he do? He launches a for-profit website doing the same thing and promoting it in every single video. Sign up for my channel. It's only $3.99 a month. There's a message board there. You can post. You won't be censored. It's just like, is this what Jesus would do? He'd emulate what the other person is doing and then charge for it? I mean, if he was really about Jesus and community and truth, he would have said, you know what? Zach Hubbard just launched Free to Find Truth. You guys should get on there. It's free and it's censorship free. Nah, he saw an opportunity and said, oh, I know how to make more money off these people. So, I mean, again, I put out a Gematria calculator app that works offline. Also costs too much to build, but again, never charge for any of this stuff. So for all the people who sit around and say, oh, Zach's just trying to make money, you guys are all full of shit. I'm trying to get resources to make things happen so people can see the real agendas, wake up to the lies, the tyranny, the evil, and this whole truth community, the entire time I've been here, from PK Truth to Dr. Doom or whatever that guy's, all these people that had big platforms, all these years I've been here, all I've ever done has been attacked by all these different people, been called a shill, false information, gematria stupid, and then meanwhile, these people over here talking about the shape of the earth and not what's going on Earth. It's just, you guys got to wake up. You got to wake up. I hate to say it, but I'm one of the only people that's on the tube that's real, that's sincere, that's actually doing something. So many people and the reason a lot of people like these other channels more than me is because, again, they're fake. People are so used to fake. They're so used to fake. They're so used to people dressing nice and talking nice and not swearing, just like the nightly news, right? Nightly news, man in a suit, no swear words coming out, talking so nice as he lies to you left and right. Brian all the time saying, oh, I don't like to use cuss words. I don't like to use ad hominems. I just like to slander the truth and people who are actually doing something while selling you more basement snacks. Again, people can't see through the con man because they've grown up in a world of con men. And you know what else was funny? Brian edited one thing out of my interaction with these security guards, and he tried to make it look like I was racist. He's like, I cut out this clip here because Zach said something about the color of this man's skin that didn't seem unnecessary. Brian, Pat knew exactly what I was saying to him because I was making the point to him that he's behaving like the oppressor that has so many black men in prison who don't belong there. And speaking of which, a man right from Oklahoma City, Corey, who made me cry, he just got out of prison. He spent 17 years in prison for having an unregistered weapon. What a sick joke. I know you know that's a sick joke too. That's an infringement on the Second Amendment. Who said your weapon had to be registered? That's all the bullshit we shouldn't have to be doing. And then have spent 17 years in a cage. If you saw how diverse the group that was coming out, no, and I know there's people out there trying to make me out to look like a racist and stuff for some things I said, but sometimes I'm mad and I just say things that are real, but I'm not racist. And again, I do care about all people. But the thing that Brian clipped that out and tried to make me look that, Brian, go back to your video. Speaking of parroting the news, you know how earlier this year, you guys, they were showing all those videos of mobs of black people robbing, like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and how that was a viral news story, and about how California's weak on crime, and they kept showing the mobs of black people robbing the stores. Brian in his videos kept saying, look at the color of all these people's skin. Yeah, look at, did you notice how the color of every single person's skin was a certain color? I mean, Brian, you're the fucking racist. You don't think you're parroting exactly what they want people to see? Showing mobs of black people? And again, it's just, I don't know where they find these people, but it's the same ones they get for Black Lives Matter. Brian was legitimately backing up the racism that the media was trying to portray and endorsing it and making videos about it over and over. And again, Brian, you are a joke, my man. You are a sick fucking joke. But despite that, I invite you to be back in Oklahoma City next year, April 19th, 2023, because this needs to become an annual event, and you should be there next year. And if I'm wrong about everything I'm saying about you, well, prove it. Prove it. Fix your behavior. Stop acting so ignorant. Stop leaving stupid fucking comments like this. And stop making the same stupid fucking point when it's been addressed 50 times. It just makes you look like a chump. I don't get why it would matter with English when there's so many languages. What a dumb fucking comment. Are you that much of a dunce? You don't realize that English is the language that's taught worldwide? The whole fucking world's learning to speak English? I mean, come on, man. Climb out from under your rock. And honestly, you might live under a rock, because when I was watching your stream in Vegas, I kept laughing because I was like, this guy seems so fucking sheltered. Does he ever leave his house? The only video I ever saw before where he wasn't in his house was when he was in Walmart. Oh my God, man. So... And by the way, I did see in this video that you said you were going to go out on the strip and ask people if they heard about the World Economic Forum. I don't know if you ever did that. I don't see the video here. Maybe you got censored. They took it down. But if you did do that, you should upload that. And by the way, I think that's a great idea. When I'm out on the street and talking to people, I usually ask them that. Have you heard of the World Economic Forum? Do you know who Klaus Schwab is? Those are easier things to talk about than Gematria. Oh, you don't? Well, you should look into it because they simulated the pandemic right before it happened. You know, he's been talking about power outages. By the way, Brian, there were people who came out to the rally. Angel was there. Angel was talking about how this knowledge might have really enhanced her life when they had the blackouts and the big freeze in Texas, because I was telling people why there was going to be power outages and crazy shit on February 14, 2021, synced up with Klaus Schwab through Understanding Gematria. Told people why to be prepared. Propane, dry food, water, supplies that you need on hand, batteries, ways to stay warm. And some people took that advice. And for some people, it was a huge... it was a huge thing that made their week a lot easier for what they had to go through. So, I mean, to be asking this, Brian, it's a sick joke, man. You are a sick joker. And honestly, you guys, for all the people out there who don't pledge $1, like, seriously, it's not about money, but we do need to pool resources. And again, I continue to say it, and I'll continue to say it. You guys are part of the problem. If you don't have $1 a month for this work should have so much more resources behind it than it should. It deserves it. The word deserve. Here, let's look up what the word deserve means. Deserve. What's that word mean? Deserve. It's a big word. What's it mean? Do something or have or show qualities worthy of. Reward or punishment. This work exposes so much every single day. And the problem with this work is so few people know about it. And why do so few people know about it? Because there's so much censorship. Also because there's so much cognitive dissonance, but censorship really has been the thing that has, kept this work from reaching the audience it should have. Back in 2016, 2017, reaching people. When I came back for a while at the end of 2018, we were reaching people. But since then, it's been really hard to reach anybody. People found the Kobe work because people really looked for the Kobe stuff, but even then didn't get that big of views. I didn't even have a single video on Kobe make it to 100,000, and that's not good. But it's better than what I get these days for most videos, which is around 5,000 views or less. And I mean, the algorithms could be lying and making it look smaller than it is, but the point is, we are only going to reach the audiences that we need to if we have resources. And there's so many things that resources can do. If we have a big gathering at news networks and, we know that we're going in for the cause and we're probably all going to get arrested, but we're doing it to get a point, there's going to be a lot of bail money and legal fee money needed. And the thing is, let's say that 100 people gather at CNN with the intention of going in there and waking up the world and trying to shake up their news, and then we go to Fox News and MSNBC, we do it to all of them. But if 100 people have to get arrested, that's going to be a lot of legal fees. That's going to be very expensive for that group of people who are making a big sacrifice. But you know what? If there's 1 million people in the world who are pledging $1 a month, which isn't anything for one person, every homeless person can afford $1 a month, okay? There's no excuse for why you can't afford $1 a month, which is 3 cents a day. But if we have $1 million a month coming in from 1 million people who are behind the cause, you know what? Those legal fees are taken care of. There's not as much of a concern. Take care of the bail, take care of the court costs, take care of the lawyer fees if we need it. There's $1 million coming in a month from 1 million people, which is a small investment from the community per person. And again, you guys, I mean, I it's annoying just, people like the constant trolling. Hey, Rambo, if you're out there, I implore you to stop interacting with Casey Jones. This guy is a human piece of shit. He single-handedly destroyed All for Truth. I know he hangs around with the astrology information, but he's obviously a really fucked up, weird guy. We need to stop associating with this person. I encourage you to block them from your YouTube channel and not talk to them anymore and literally say, fuck you, scumbag. Look at what he's been spamming the whole time. That this was a staged thing. The whole thing's staged. It's all fake. It's all a psyop. I mean, this guy's a fucking loser. He can hang around all day and give his astrology observations, but ultimately he's just a demon here meant to fuck with the community. He's a human piece of shit. Let's not talk about his name anymore. Let's not bring up the latest tip he gave you. Just get rid of the guy. This guy does not mean well for the community. He's a scumbag. And, the day you have a bigger following and you try to do something, he'll probably turn on you too. So, again, I implore all people who are associating with people like this in the community, because he's a real weird guy. He tries to share helpful information, but then he's constantly here talking shit, sabotaging, trolling. He doesn't mean well. He's just trying to fit in and act like he's a friend. He's trying to get people to divide. They're like, well, wait a minute, I like his information, so maybe he has a point. That's his strategy. So, got to cut these people off. They got to be 86th from the community. And, and again, all you butthurt flat earthers, again, get over it. I'm not wrong. Flat Earth is a psyop, always has been. It's why it went viral. Everything that goes viral is a psyop. Watch the water. What's that equal? 56, like coronavirus, like COVID vaccine? Obvious psyop. Went viral. Flat Earth went viral. Everything that goes viral. QAnon, viral. Everything, Pizzagate, viral. All of these things are bullshit. Jeffrey Epstein, viral. More bullshit. And realize the things like Jeffrey Epstein and Pizzagate, you have all these people that are acting like Pizzagate's the pinnacle of child sex trafficking. This one person who nobody knows anything about, Jeffrey Epstein, he's another pinnacle of sex trafficking. Notice all the content being made about this, and nobody's talking about the Catholic Church. You know. Here, I'm gonna go back and make a point. 22.5 million Catholic Church. Sex abuse settlements. Remember, this news broke the day after George Floyd. So the George Floyd news was May 26th, right? He reportedly died Memorial Day, May 25th, but then the video came out May 26th. Floyd equals 26 like chaos. And then the very next day, this story came out. And they had to say 22.5 million, right? 22.5 million. And people didn't get it because they're not paying attention to what we're teaching about. From George Floyd's birthday to his death was his 225th day of his age. The next day, $22.5 million settlement. Eventually, Derek Chauvin gets 22.5 years in prison. Where's 225 fit in? Again, it's encoded in the gematria of the Holy Trinity, Catholic, right? And it's also related to the Great Tribulation. And we just showed how there's that new movie that's out on Amazon, 2025, and it's about race wars and... You know, they bring up the Great Tribulation in it, but I think it's called Lockdown 2025, if I'm not mistaken. But remember also, just they had to give you the story about George Floyd's second grade teacher, Waynell Sexton. Waynell Sexton. And how George Floyd wanted to become a Supreme Court justice, right? And then what happened this year on 225? They nominated the woman in the huge Jesuit ritual right after Breyer's retirement Jesuit ritual, Catholic, again, both 201 rituals, but they nominated her on 225, right? And then one of the main stories that we're hearing about this woman is that she's weak on pedophilia and child pornography. And again, you know, Catholic, Jesuit, Supreme Court, but just the same patterns, right? And people aren't seeing it. And Brian doesn't want to see it. I've made so many videos explaining these same things to him, and this is what he wants to share back. Is gematria a clever distraction? No, asshole. It's the knowledge to see who runs the show and for what purpose and what their next move is, and truly the thing that can lift the wool from the eyes to see the two-party deception, the media deception, how sick and evil it is, the ritual sacrifice of human beings. Orrin Hatch the other day, and then the next day we got the Utah politician being promoted who's running in the upcoming election, Evan McMullen, you know? But all of it's just so obvious. It's all so obvious. 225 in Gematria speaks to the Holy Trinity. They're coding this on George Floyd, the sex abuse, just all of it. It's so obvious how it's just so seamless. Keep in mind, pay attention. Barack Obama wins the 56th presidential election for the first time, 2008. Kamala Harris takes the White House at age 56. Ketanji Brown Jackson gets nominated on 2/25, the 56th day of the year. Black Lives Matter, 56. Society of Jesus, 56, right? I mean, it's just so obvious. Coronavirus, 56. The George Floyd autopsy said he had coronavirus. I can't breathe. Coronavirus attacks the lungs. Pope Francis is encyclical about what to do about it. Fratelli Tutti equals 56. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Pope's 56. That's who the Jesuits serve. But, I just noticed the part about 70 people say they were abused by 41 priests. Vatican and Francis are 70. 56 is 70 and base 8 counting. Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general in 1541. USA, of course, is 41. 41 is the 13th prime. I haven't really thought about that part. I've just always focused on the 225. But, yeah, I mean, it's just... You know, Brian, the fact that you haven't shared any of these decodes, and that's the thing too, Brian. The one time Brian clearly shared my work was the day after I put out the video on 1968 and everything that happened in 68 related to 9/11 and the World Trade Centers. Again, just one more time. Brian, you really should, if I'm not wrong about you, actually, we got to stop using the word shill, you guys. Shill is actually, I don't think it's actually the right word for how we describe people who are deceivers. I think just deceiver is the better word. Gatekeeper. But yeah, I mean, I don't think shill's actually the right word for deceiver. But anyway, just to go through the whole 68 thing one more time and just bring it to Oklahoma City. 1968, World Trade Center construction begins. 911's made the national emergency dialing code by AT&T. George W. Bush graduates from Yale and Skull and Bones every year from his birthday. July 6th to September 11th is his 68th day of his age. Not to mention his graduating class at Yale had 911 members. Boeing in Seattle debuted their jumbo jetliner. Supposedly Boeing planes hit the targets on 9/11. Magnuson Klemenkic Associates from Seattle is who built the World Trade Centers. Seattle, Washington, and Gematria is 68, like terror, like CIA. And the New York Jets, that was their only Super Bowl winning season. Think about it. New York Jets. Remember how Drew Bledsoe got hurt, who played in Washington State, you know, like where Boeing's from, where if you don't remember, Drew Bledsoe, who was the quarterback of the Patriots, got injured on a sack from New York Jet Mo Lewis. Not to mention Drew Bledsoe wore number 11. New York's the 11th state. World Trade Centers look like 11. George H.W. Bush gave a speech about a new world order, world free or terror, 11 years to the day. Flight AA-11, the master number, the master plan that went into motion 33 years before 9/11. But Drew Bledsoe from Washington State got hurt on the New York Jet sack, which brought in Tom Brady, the great white hope. But think about it. 9/11, Patriots, Patriot Act, right? Rome, the Coliseum, the distraction, the NFL, sports, how all of these things come together again and again. What we just talked about with Orrin Hatch in Utah, the day of the Utah Jazz comeback, by the same old number code. But, so you have all these 68s. Keep in mind the lead hijacker on 9/11, Muhammad Atta, born in 68, on September 1st, a date that can be written 1/9 like 19 hijackers. They say the Quran code was discovered in 1968, where the whole Quran centered on the number 19. Part of how we said in 2020, I called it many years in advance, why 2020 would be the next phase of the next 9/11 type agenda, which ended up being COVID-19. 19's the chaos number. The sun card is the 19th card in tarot. The sun cult, the Catholic Church, the moon on its 19-year cycle. Again, there's a reason for these numbers. There's a reason for these rituals. But then just going to Oklahoma City. I couldn't believe when I got to Oklahoma City and I saw that overlooking the bomb site was the AT&T building, in addition to the Masonic Temple and the Catholic Church. And then I look it up and I go, oh my God, the AT&T building was established in 1927, meaning it turned 68 in 95 when terror's 68. And again, AT&T made 911 the national emergency dialing code in 68. So that's one of the 68s at Oklahoma City. Again, McVeigh's born in 68. Oh, by the way, his birthday is April 23rd. Orrin Hatch died on April 23rd, and probably not by accident because he's one of the main sponsors of the anti-terrorism legislation that came out of all that shit. But Keating, Jesuit educated, was the governor of Oklahoma at the time. He went to Georgetown like Bill Clinton. From his birthday to the attack was 68 days later. And not to mention his birthday is January 27th. Or no, I take it back. That's wrong. I got the wrong guy in my head. I take it back. That's not his birthday. But from his birthday to the Oklahoma attack was 68 days later. They had the Timothy McVeigh federal trial for his where he was sentenced to death in Denver, the city that equals 68. When I was driving I-25 south, when you come out of Utah, the first sign, when you come out of Wyoming, when you come out of Wyoming, the first sign for Denver is 68 miles to Denver, and Denver's 68 in the most simple cipher. The judge who oversaw McVeigh's trial was born on June 8th, 6'8". Shout out to Daria, who came out to OKC and promoted it and caught that. It happened on Patriots Day. Patriots Day equals 68. It happened right after Easter. Easter equals 68. And remember, Easter is associated with Tammuz, who's the son of Nimrod, and Nimrod built the Tower of Babel. And the story of the Tower of Babel ends with Genesis 11:9, like 11/9, like the date of September 11th. Nimrod, the Tower of Babel, the World Trade Centers, the towers that divided the world. Easter, Tammuz. And the story is that Queen Semiramis cried, which resurrected Tammuz, like Jesus resurrected. And then the Catholic Church, they now have the statue across the street from the memorial in OKC titled "And Jesus Wept." And the title of that statue equals 68, like Catholicism, like mathematics, like solar system, like Helios, like Tammuz, like Easter. Think about it. The tears that resurrected Tammuz, the son of Nimrod. And then "And Jesus Wept" is the tribute statue for the bombing. From John 11, by the way. Not to mention it's John 11:35. And again, 35. Catholic and Holy See's 35. Oklahoma City's on the 35th parallel right off Interstate 35 that connects with Dallas, where JFK was killed, right beneath the AT&T building. Where JFK was killed is right beneath the AT&T building. And not to mention his brother was killed in 68. In a totally obvious gematria ritual. Robert Kennedy, 66. Sirhan, 66. What time did he die? Or, excuse me, what day did he die? June 6, 66. Again, the two original ciphers I knew. Robert Kennedy, when you don't use numerology, is 156. When you use numerology, it's 66. He's shot on the 156th day of the year and dies in the early hours of June 6th, and they said he died at 1:44 in the morning. Jesuit order, 1:44. Brian Young, 1:44 on 14/4 is saying, is gematria a distraction? And you know what pisses me off? Brian has a copy of my book. Brian has this book. I sent Brian the copy of this book right when I got it, September 2020. When I got my copies of my printed book from Book Baby, I sent Brian a copy. Kathy told me later that she sent him a copy. Turned out to be another one of these agents hanging around the community. But he's never brought it up that he has two copies of the book, you guys. Brian has two copies of this book. He might not have them anymore. Maybe gave them away, gave them to Goodwill or something. But couldn't even mention to his channel. Multiple times he's gone on and said how much he doesn't like me and what an asshole I am. But couldn't mention that I sent him a copy of the book and asked him to share it with his audience. Share the knowledge. Undeniably, what's going on? So, again, it's too bad that this guy sucks up so many resources from people who are looking for truth. If it was coming to a real truth speaker and real truth teller, there'd be some more real action happening in the world that might actually change the world. Brian's not going to change the world, you guys. He's not going to try to. And for the brother who says you're not going to change the world either, you know what? We're doing something. We brought something to Oklahoma City that's never been there before. Brian lives there. I had to drive 30 hours to be there, but I'll be back there next year too. I'm going to come back there every year on that date from now on. The drive sucks, but it's worth it. I hope next year it's not snowing half the way there. It's like, God, I didn't think there'd be so much snow in April, but you do got to drive through some high elevation coming out from the West Coast, so. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to play a little bit of the beginning of this, Brian's recap of my thing, because I just want you to hear him say out of his own mouth how there should have been more than one person there, and it could have been him, but he fled town. And I just want you to think, who would say something like that? I mean, it really is such a schmuck comment when you realize what the circumstances are. For 3 months, I asked him to promote it, told him exactly what day it was, why he should be there, why I'd apologize to him if all the things I said about him are wrong. And again, all he's done is prove my point further. Fled town, went to Vegas to talk about, how it was so booked and how he had to spend $400 a night in the Trump Tower, and the windows got real gold in them. So, here, let's check this out real quick. Oh, hold on. Right after this commercial break, we got to put 5 more cents in Brian's bank account. Here we go. Oh, we got a second. Hold on. Somebody's calling in here real quick. Hello?
How you doing?
Are you calling in to be... I didn't realize my phone was on, but what's up?
Oh, hi. I was just calling in because I really support you, and you were talking about how, truthers change the world, and I really believe that you've already changed the world, and that, all of the people that are speaking their truth, speaking their mind, you guys are expressing your own emotions, projecting whatever you guys have from within to the outside world. I feel like you guys already have changed the world.
Well, I appreciate that. I agree. We are changing the world, but we need to change it in a lot bigger way. Would you agree with that as well?
Yes, I agree. And I feel like many of us are truly indoctrinated by the system and program since birth, right? And that happens in every household and family. Like, all of our parents, they were programmed since birth, and then it's like a cult. It's like a cult. We don't know we're in the cult, but we're all being programmed and systematically programmed by the same things. It's just we speak different languages, and maybe it's a different interface in different parts of the world, or a different, quote unquote, government. But they're all, the government, the word, the etymology or the epistemology of the word government comes from the ancient Latin word governare mentis, which means to mind control.
Indeed.
And exactly. I just have this quick question for you. Have you ever heard about this channel called Waters Above Crypto?
Yeah, I have heard about him, and I'll refrain from comment, but he's hanging out with somebody who I know is here to pretty much destroy the Gematria community and make decoding look bad and put people on the wrong path, and he's spending a lot of time with that person, yeah. So I'm not real sure about him, honestly. And also, again, just the whole crypto thing. I understand that we got to stay above, but crypto is them. It's the Jesuits. So, again, I'm not invested in crypto at all. And even though there is a lot of money to be made there, I'm never going to invest in crypto because I see what it is. I'm not gonna invest in the evil. So
definitely, yeah, definitely. I understand. I understand everything you're saying. I feel as if it's very true. If a lot of us, humanity, woke up, right? And we just stopped using these systems, and we stopped using crypto, we stopped using economy, a lot of these issues would be gone by tomorrow. But humanity is, I guess, too addicted to the stimulation of materialism and the fake illusions of money, what money can buy you, which is money can't buy you anything. Money can't buy you happiness. Money can't buy you time.
Indeed. Indeed. You know what real happiness is? If you were in Oklahoma City, you experienced real happiness. You saw a group of people that had never met before, perfect strangers coming together through a common purpose, and it really was like family, and people didn't want to say goodbye. We were standing in a parking lot till 3 in the morning when everyone had to be back at work the next day, and I had to hit the road to get home. So,
yeah, definitely. And Zach, I've actually watched you since the Rattle in Seattle. And I've watched you for many, many years, and people have a lot of negative things to say about you, but realistically, it really you've been doing so much more than all of these internet trolls have been doing, and you've been making impacts and changes on people's lives. I don't know if you remember, but you helped a kid that was 15 years old named Bryson Bell.
Indeed, young Bryson. I hope he comes back, but he got kind of burnt out, so.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of us truthers, because I'm only 19 years old. I've called him before one time a couple years ago, and we've talked. But I feel like a lot of us we're on a spiritual journey, and I feel like our purpose on Earth is bigger than maybe decoding gematria or maybe just quote unquote seeking truth. Because I feel like you and Waters Above really should connect. Both of you are really smart individuals, and you guys all have your own mind and thought. you guys all express emotions and express your truth and speak your mind from within. And I feel like Waters Above's community, they really accept, like, we're a really accepting community. We accept everything. Like, we see things for what they are. We know the elites and the apex predators are using influence to influence humanity into making bad choices and decisions. Because at the end of the day, the humans are the ones making these decisions. The humans are the ones, like, keeping the system going. Like, the humans are the ones repairing this AI, or like keeping this AI system forever going. Like, we are the variable to this. We're the dependent variable.
Well, I agree. I think our purpose is to create a better way forward, and that's the way I feel right now. I just from being there and being around people, I got real faces in my mind, and real tears from a certain woman about how much she wants a better community for herself and her children, and that's what I want to figure out how to do: create a good, safe community for people to escape the evil that we're being subjected to. And it's going to take resources. It's going to take resources. And if people stepped up to the plate and pledged $1 a month, we wouldn't have to worry about getting rich off crypto. We'd be able to secure the land space we need and the resources and come together and grow food and have what we need to survive. I mean, money's not something you need to survive. Our ancestors didn't need money to survive. All they needed was cooperation and food, which they could grow in their own backyard, and a roof over their head. And that's what I want to get to. So anyway, I appreciate your call and the message. I can talk to Waters Above Crypto. I mean, he's never reached out to me, but like I said, I don't. He's spending a lot of time with somebody who's been put in this community to bring bad vibes, bad information, bad decoding practices, and so I got a red flag up because of that.
Yeah, I understand like where you're coming from, because I've seen a lot of, I guess all I can say is like really nonsense, because like people argue, people get into like, I don't know, people can agree to disagree, but I feel like none of you guys are really wrong, or none of you guys are really right. You know what I mean? Like, me as myself and as like an individual with my own thought in mind, I really can't pinpoint who is right or wrong, but all I see is, I can only see the positive side from all of you guys, and I'm just learning from all of you, because I never really had like a father figure, or I have a father, but like the society really.
Well, here, I'm going to say something real quick. I appreciate your perspective and your positivity, and that you're being supportive and open-minded, but the guy who's constantly saying that no one's mocking us and the Jesuits aren't behind any of this, that guy's speaking blatant lies. We're being mocked every day. We're getting the middle finger every day from the same Jesuit cabal. And it's a major problem that he keeps repeating that like a broken record. So anyway, I appreciate it, young man. I keep up the great work, and I'll look into connecting and see what he's got to say. And if we do connect, I'll ask him why he's spending so much time with the obvious deceivers. So anyway, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, you take care. Yeah. Again, I mean, I'm not going to mince words, and most of you know who I'm talking about, but I did do the video with him. He's right about the Mercury thing, but yeah, he can't stop saying the same thing over. No one's mocking you. It's not the Jesuits. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. You're probably one of them. You came from Hollywood. Anyway, you need to publish your vids on. Here, I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't planning on taking phone calls. Hold on. 559. Last call, and then I'm not taking any more calls for now. What's up?
Hey, Zach, I don't know if you covered this already, but yesterday, did you see that a man died after setting himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court?
Oh, was that yesterday, or maybe it was a couple days ago? That was a headline I saw and I meant to look into, but I haven't checked it out yet. I did catch that headline, though.
Yeah, just wondering if you saw that. I don't know if you covered it or not.
Okay, that's another one of those stories that seems to come once a year. It seems like there's always somebody setting themselves on fire and dying in the nation's capital, and it's usually symbolic. I'll have to look into it, so appreciate it.
Yeah, it seems really symbolic.
All right, thanks, man.
Also, have you heard of the basketball player Jalen Green on the Houston Rockets?
I know that we talked about something with him a while back. Why? What is it?
So I'm sharing a lot of this knowledge with my friends, but some of them are Jalen. He was a year below us, and now he's number 2 pick in the draft. He's on the Rockets. He's getting all these brand deals. Adidas, OVO. He did a collab with Beyonce. All kinds of stuff. And he's got the one eye tattooed on his knee. There's a few pictures where he does the one eye symbol, and it's like a lot of these people, they're probably not even aware of what exactly they're doing. They're just being told to do it. But
truly,
yeah, and Jalen, the Rockets, they're the worst team in the league, right?
Right.
They're like 20-something, 60-something. But Jalen, one of the best players in the league, they say. Watching him growing up, he was always one of the best people I've ever seen play. He just floats through the air like nobody else.
Sure.
So he would be a perfect person to use for their circus.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm just having a hard time getting my friends to wrap
Well,
their head
stick to
around
examples that are easier. Like, how about Beyonce releasing her Icy Park clothing line the week Houston froze over? Those are the kind of things that are easier for people to grasp.
Jalen modeled for that whole Ivy Park thing, and it's just and they got the whole.
And the Houston Rockets were ice cold this year.
I think it's called the pattern that looks like a checkerboard. It's just like they're right in your face.
Yeah, indeed. So,
but yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing the information, man. Thank you.
Yesterday, setting himself on fire.
I'll look more into that too.
All right, for sure.
All right, yeah, take care.
All right, later.
All right, see you. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize the phone was on, so I'm turning it off, you guys. It's not that I don't want to hear your voices. It's just I wasn't planning on taking calls. But here, coming back to I just want you to hear Brian just make his little comment. That's just like, how are you even going to make a comment like this in light of what the circumstances really are? But if you guys missed this, this is me getting up close to the doors, and I didn't walk up with my camera out. I just walked up with my camera in my pocket. I was about to go in the building and take the tour. That was the plan, to take the tour, and this is what happened.
Hold on. What do I have to roll for? You got to roll.
And realize I pulled out the camera once I started getting, because again, the first guy came over to me and said, "Are you Zach Hubbard?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And then he immediately put both hands on my shoulders and started trying to push me backwards. And I was like, "Dude, you need to stop, man." I kind of did like a shake him. I said, "You don't need to go hands on." And I was trying to explain, and I was pulling the camera on my phone to record, and just like, give me a reason why I can't be here. And then, anyway, they had to call Pat. This is an edited version, so he cut off some of this. But anyway, this is Brian's recap on what happened. And here, we'll just watch what Brian said.
Trespass. Come on. You gotta go, man.
This is private property.
Hold on. Come on, brother.
Hey, you don't need to put hands on.
Let's go. Listen. This way, brother. Listen. This way. Listen. This way.
I can walk. You don't need to put hands on.
Okay, let's
So you're
go.
Pat?
I'm Pat, yeah.
Okay, so Pat's gonna put hands on.
Start walking, man. Let's go. Man, go, man. Get on my nerve. Go. Let's go.
Why am I getting on your nerves? Well, here, let me teach you something real quick. Okay, yeah, be arrested.
Just realize this is Brian's version, so it's edited. If you watch my version, there's no edits. But here, we're just watching this to get to Brian's remark, just to see. This is how disingenuous Brian is when he gets to the remark.
Okay, you guys are good fucking pieces of shit. That's what you guys are. You guys are some sorry-ass motherfuckers, and what's wrong with the country?
Okay, this is a video from the channel GematriaEffectNews 23. Zach from that channel took a trip to Oklahoma City to the National Memorial and Museum to exercise his First Amendment right to give his opinion about what happened during that fateful April 19th, 1995 day in Oklahoma City. Rather than get a warm reception from Oklahoma's finest welcome wagon, he encountered a group of power-hungry state agents operating under the guise of security guards. What exactly they're securing, we don't know, but it sure as hell isn't liberty. From the outset, it looks like the guards knew who Zach was and maybe knew a little bit about his message, but arbitrarily decided that his so-called constitutionally protected rights just don't apply there on that property.
You gotta go. Sir, you gotta get your hands off me. Go. You guys, I just got here, and when I walked up to the building, they said, "Are you Zach Hubbard?" And they said, "You're not allowed here." And this guy just put hands on me. What's your name?
Wait,
What's your name?
what's your name?
You just asked me my name.
Leave.
Tell me what my name is. You just asked me it.
You see how he smirked there for a second? He did a little smirk because he realized it was stupid to ask me what my name was. He just came up to me and asked me what my name was. Like, what the fuck's wrong with these people, man? It's just that, you just see how the elementary mindset comes. Your dad's a fucking loser. No, your dad's a bigger fucking loser. What's your name? What's your name? I want to know his name because I want to know who's putting hands on me, man. It's just like, they don't have name badges on.
Hey, Pat, can you come out?
Pat's coming out, yes.
And honestly, how fucked up is it that they call the black guy, right? Isn't it fucked up? Get out here, slave. We need your big muscles to shove this guy around. I'm not big enough to shove him myself.
We got hands on here.
All right, come on.
Whoa.
Rest, Pat.
Hey, man, you gotta roll.
Hold on.
You gotta go.
What do I have to roll for? You gotta roll.
You're not
Trespass.
arrested. If
Come
you
on.
come on
You gotta
property,
trespass.
you're gonna be.
You gotta go, man.
This is
You're not
private
allowed here.
property.
Hold on.
Come on, brother. You
Hey.
And I just want you guys to, I mean, I was super disappointed. I wanted to go in this damn museum to do some research. And God, I didn't expect this to happen. Get to the door. And by the way, the reason, so I didn't come back later after this whole video was formed, and the guy with the little chin patch, I gotta let you know, he did apologize. He said it did seem kind of messed up, and he seemed like maybe I should have the right to be there. And I did tell him to look into my information, and I think he did, because he said, man, maybe you're right. And then he explained. Listen, I'm just doing my best. This is the best job I've ever had. This is how I pay the bills. And I said back to him, I said, well, you know, a lot of people in history, that's how they justified their bad behavior too. It was their job. And, you know, even though we couldn't get Mark Passio to promote the event either or come down, you know, and I have a lot of things that I'm not happy about with Mark Passio. One of his main points that he harps on is one of the biggest problems in this world is a lot of people do the wrong thing in the name of I'm just doing my job. And I mean, this is a world-class example of it right here.
Hey, you don't need to put hands on me. Let's go.
Let me just say real quick, this is why it's a good idea to do these events with at least one other person who's also recording. That way you can actually film the personal contact. When the camera's in the hands of the guy being pushed around, it's difficult to see who exactly is engaging in the immoral personal contact behavior. I don't care who these people are. Nobody can just walk up to you and start putting their hands all over you and shoving you off the property for no good reason.
And again, I mean, it's just him saying that though. It's like, you should have been there, Brian. You should have been there promoting the event. It's your town. Instead, he's online posting at the same time that his gematria a distraction. It's just like, come on, man. Oh, these people, you guys. This truth community is so fake. It's got so many frauds in it. It's got the same people regurgitating the same shit that gets us nowhere. Call for an uprising, his old channels. You know, people doing the 666 fingers and the pyramid. It's like, okay, we get it. And for anyone who's like, okay, Zach, well, you're just showing the gematria every day. Yeah, I show it every day because every day it proves its point. And every day it's something new. Every day it's another ritual. And you can see who's in the club. And I've been making the same old point about Elon Musk, the Jesuit puppet who operates by the numbers day after day. Like today on the 115th day of the year. Again, $43 billion deal 43 weeks after his birthday when Tesla died in 43. You know? It's, you know, it's undeniable. So, here, while I was gone, I said I would thank everyone for super chats because, you know, most of it I was on my phone, and on the phone it's hard to read the comments, and I don't know how to look up where the super chats are on the phone. But let me go through and say thank you to everyone who gave a super chat. Sami Ahmad 2000 gave a super chat this morning. He said, you need to publish your vids on your own site and charge entry. You must. I don't have enough resource. The guy who builds the website, maybe there's a better website guy out there in the world that's less expensive, but he says there's no cost-effective way to build our own live streaming platform. It would cost a fortune. I don't have the money to do it. That'd be another reason it'd be nice if there was people pledging $1 a month and we had $1 million a month. Then we could have our own streaming web service that a lot of people could use. And again, it's just sad to me that there's not a million people in the world that haven't gotten behind the work I've done in the last 9 years and realize, like, you know, you did that for 5 years for free. I think I got $1 a month for this the rest of the way. LAF last night with 2 $1 donations. Thank you. That spells Moon said, I repeat a red dragon burst from me on shrooms. I don't know what that means. But thank you for the super chat. They also put out, I gave birth to Phoenix on December 13, 2020 on 14 grams on shrooms. Okay, I appreciate the donations, but I don't know what you were responding to when I was making those videos. 208 Productions, I got to stop by Boise next time. He says, shout out, sweet lady. We appreciate all you do for Zach. Thank you. Gematria Vision says, expose them. Thank you for your super chat. Sarah Sutherland, who's super generous. She gave a lot of super chats. She said, thank you for all your work and making it home safe to May and Mama Hubbard. She might have said thank you instead of thank you on purpose because she paid for a lot of the money in my gas tank. Thank you, Sarah. Why is Why said the likes were at 226 before I clicked for the 227th. I dreamt about the number 226 last night and even heard it from my mom. Talk about synchronicity. Cutstone, also very generous. Keep up the great work, everyone. Appreciate it. Sarah Sutherland, safe travel, Zach. Another donation. LAF with another $1. Question mark is the channel. Says thank you guys for your service to humanity. You're very welcome. Hope to see you there next time. LAF with another $1. King Sosa with $5. Iron Hike Malik with another $5. LAF with another $1. Another $5. Another $5. Another $1. LAF with a lot of donations. Thank you. Ian Bell said, please play Murder Most Foul by Bob Dylan or check out the lyrics. It's about JFK's death. We talked about that when it came out. I have a post on that. So again, there used to be a video on it. I'm sure it's on a channel that was deleted. Notice it came out March 26, right? 26/3, like 263, the 56th prime. And Murder Most Foul also has the 79 encoded it, like Murder in Society of Jesus. Society of Jesus is 56 forward, 79 in reverse. Lincoln and Dylan got the 79. The song is 17 minutes long. Remember, John F. Kennedy, 59, 59, the 17th prime, number related with killing, what the song's about. It came out 59 days before Bob Dylan's 79th birthday. Notice it was also 8 weeks and 3 days. Murder is 79 and 83. Pope Francis is 59. First Jesuit Pope. Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for him. Dylan's birthday is the 144th day of the year, right? Jesuit Order 144. JFK died a span of 144 days from meeting with the Pope. From his last birthday to the song's release was 307 days, the 63rd prime. JFK killed in 63. By the way, the Catholic Church across the street from the memorial in Oklahoma City, the address is 307. And terrorism is also 63. We talked about that. Murder Most Foul also has that Kabbalah code in it. JFK died on the 178th day of his age. Murder Most Foul 178. Kabbalah comes from Jewish mysticism. The Jesuits Catholic and Jewish. Bob Dylan Jewish. In the lyrics of the song, he says that he's seen the Zapruder film 33 times. You know, just the same old numbers. Frame 313 in the JFK assassination film, 65th prime. Murder Most Foul, Knights Templar. Again, the Templar cross and the Jesuit logo. You see how it all connects? Again, base ciphers. Base ciphers. Again, 263, the 56th prime. Not sure why I didn't put the Society of Jesus thing there. Probably because I talked about it 10 gazillion times. But again, just everything about it perfect, you know? Just the way they do it. They release the songs. They perform the ritual. Bob Dylan, a lot of biblical lyrics over the years. Highway 61 revisited. Big time God number 61. Big time Jesus number. So, yeah, again, you guys, for all the things, like if you're looking to see if I covered something, maybe the video's not there anymore, search GematriaEffect.news, my new website. Also search freetofindtruth.blogspot.com, which is my old blog. Freetofindtruth.com is the new website for anyone to post on. Censorship free. Hey, search that website for information. People are posting up a storm on there day after day. And, I mean, the website is getting a lot of use. I just wish there was even more people on there. But yeah, again, don't forget to search the sites I already have. Again, just day after day, just talking about all this stuff as it comes out. So thank you for your super chat, and next time you know where to look. LAF with another $5. Modoc Rough Stock with a big $20 donation. Here's $20 because I like your style. Much love from Mina, Nevada, where the bearded are not always women. Banners coming for 95 south to Vegas. Vernon Hasenkamps rocks, just saying. Okay, appreciate all that. And I got to look up who Vernon Hasenkamps is, because right now I don't know. So, Carson City, Nevada company information. Here, if you were trying to give a shout out to this person, happy to do it. It's got to be it because you're in Nevada. 2209 Richard Drive. This got to be you. So, or whoever you're giving a shout out to. All right, if you're in the market, if you're in Vegas, maybe check this out. Somebody connected to the truth community doing business. All right, appreciate that. Lupita, $20. Thank you for keeping us woke. Stay safe from California. I appreciate it. Mr. Futures, $15. Thank you. Glad the OKC meetup went well. Looking forward to September 11th takeover of NYC. Zach and Victor link up. The community has been waiting for a while. Indeed. I look forward to meeting you, Victor. Thank you. Ginny Ruckenheim with a huge $50 donation. Wow. Didn't leave a message, but left a emoji on a rocket. Appreciate that. Sarah Sutherland with another 20. Have lunch when you get to Dallas. Love the work, Zach. Appreciate that. I took everybody out who stuck with us for dinner in Dallas after we were done. And I think we woke up, the waiter too, he wanted to check out the work, he wanted to buy the book. I was going to give him a free copy of the book, but he insisted on buying the book, so I gave him extra tip money so that he could buy the book with it. But anyway, it was a great time in Dallas. Cloud Busting 59, 10 British pounds. Much support from Sarah and Adrian in the UK, thank you. Bex, a currency that I don't recognize, sorry, but I appreciate the donation. A little gas money, thank you so much. Sarah Sutherland, another $10 gas money, she gave a lot, thank you. Carl Streener with the nice donation of $1.49 in British pounds. I think that goes further with US dollars right now. And a nice little umbrella on the beach, looks like where I'd like to be. Haiti, $5 gave, it's my birthday today, and I've been watching your content for 2 years now, Zach. It's so exciting to watch this live. I'm sorry I didn't see this in real time. Happy belated birthday, and thank you for your super chat. I can tell that was part of the stream that got deleted. So, yeah, it's part of the stream that got deleted. That's too bad. Kent Woods, during that same stream that got deleted, please ask him about Terrence Yakey. We did. So hopefully you saw that on the stream. We absolutely did. I'll talk more about that, too, in a moment. I went back and looked at that and did a little decode on that. Kent Woods, a second donation, asked him about Terrence Yankee. Again, this is the police officer who was the first officer on the scene on April 19th, 95. He supposedly died by suicide, even though he was found murdered. And there was a gentleman outside, he was there by himself, and he had a big sign to look into the death of Terrence Yankee. So I'm going to show you what I found on that. He said, thank you for being out there and spreading awareness of the facts. Much respect to all of y'all. You're welcome. Thank you. C with the $1.99 said, love the work, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you. Sarah Sutherland with another $10. Can't go on the 19th. This is the only way I can support you. And man alive, did you ever support? Thank you for all your generosity. Carl Streener, British pounds, 5 of them. Hey, Zach, great work. Golf and Grand National winner posted 2 messages. Congrats. Carl Streener with another $3 in the British pounds. Thank you. CJ Sheffer, Smokey Robinson, 30,000 days old today. Oh, wait, hold on. We've gone into, so I'm going into super chats that I covered before we left. So those are from April 9th, so we have covered those. But thank you to everyone who donated. Here, let's add it up as a community. Let's do the math on this. So the streams from while I was down there, 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 5 is 12, plus $1.50. What's that? $13.50 plus 10 more, $23.50. KR20. I'm not sure what that's worth. So that's a question mark. We'll just say it was worth $5. $28.50. Another 10 from cloud busting. 38.50 plus 20, 58.50 plus another 50, 108.50 plus 15 from Mr. Futures. It's up to 124 plus another 20, 144 plus another 20, 164 plus another 5, 169 plus another 10, 179 plus 1 plus 180. Another 5, 185, 190, 191, 196, 201, funny. It's actually 201.50. 202, 207, 208, 213, 233, plus 11, 244, plus 20, 264, 275, 277, 279, 281, 282, 283, 288, 293. Well, that some of those, that one came in yesterday or today actually. But thank you. I mean, that really is a lot in donations, and that takes care of a big chunk of the gas money. And yeah, again, and a lot of you donated more than $1. I wish that, again, I just say, why aren't there a million people out there that find this work to be worth $1 a month? I mean, really, it's worth a lot more than $1 a month to be perfectly honest. But the reason I like $1 a month pledge is because it's really nothing. It's next to nothing. And there should be that many people that are saying, I'm about this. I'm behind the cause. I want to see this go places. I want to see all the things happen that need to happen for this work. A team of people. Advertising. Again, what would be nice, what would also make this easier to do to get big numbers is rent a big building. Have a catering service there, and make sure we hire the catering service where the leftover food, we're allowed to give it to the homeless people afterwards. I hate how many catering services, their policy is that you can't give all the extra food to homeless. But just imagine that. Here, we got the building, you guys. We're going to gather here. We're going to feed ourselves here. You don't have to worry about meals. You don't have to worry about, if we end up having bad weather, we got a place to converge and discuss and try to get out the word in a different way. But if we have resources, these are the things we can kind of do. Or these are the things we can do, Promote it months in advance. Put up a billboard in the town that we're going to do it in. Gather with us here at this day on this day to get out the word about this. I mean, you got $1 million coming in a month. You could do a lot of big things. Pay musicians to come out and promote the event. Get musicians there. Whatever we got to do to make noise, attract an audience, get people to pay attention and think about what's being promoted. This looks official. This looks serious. Man, this thing is well organized. It takes resources. If we pool our resources together, $1 million a month becomes nothing because it's 1 million people pledging 3 pennies a day. So, and again, you guys, I mean, I like, the Matrix's idea too about buying up lots of land in Mexico, in the U.S. So we have options. Things get bad. Maybe you're not in position to do it right now, but man, stuff gets bad and you're like, God, I don't want to have to go through this. I really don't want to do that. You know what? I think I'm going to try out that. I'm going to go out there and see what that community is about. Let's see if I can grow some food and hang out and, be part of this community. I mean, we can create options for ourselves. We can create real momentum. We can create a real movement. And again, look to the people who are trying to do it. I don't know how anyone can look at me and say I haven't been trying to do it. I've been doing everything in my power to try and make it happen. So, and again, you guys don't like me? Here, maybe you don't like me, but maybe had you come out to the event, you would have met some people you like here, There was a lot of very likable people. And again, I just want you to see the faces of people who just came out for Oklahoma City and Dallas, This is one of the photos we took. We supported a local business, Look at the diversity of that group. Let me bring my mic back closer to me too. Look at the diversity of that group, You never seen a group like that, A nice, diverse group of people, all parts of the nation, all different backgrounds, but all there for the common purpose. They're sick of the tyranny. They want to get out the truth. They want to create a better path forward, That's one of the photos. We had a smaller group at the end of Dallas, after a day of pound and pavement. That's who made it with us to the restaurant. Again, Neo the Hacker's there. You recognize him from YouTube. Jeremy White, JHW3D from YouTube. If you don't know these people, you need to be on their channels. Neo's coming back. Jeremy White, he's going to make more time. Again, Jeremy White just invested $500 in a really rare Gematria book. And just right near the beginning of the book, it talks about the significance of 201 in light in Hebrew Gematria. Remember, 201 is the number on the Illuminati. What's Illuminati mean? In the light. Think this stuff's arbitrary? Come on. You know, Vitamin Steve, and Erica just started their new YouTube channel. It is called Truth. Hold on. Whoa, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Truth. Oh my goodness. Truth and Justice for You all together. Truth and Justice for You. Let's subscribe. Their first video is interviewing me, the 1 minute gematria tutorial. And it's funny, it's gotten 56 views right now. But let's get Truth and Justice for You. Let's get them some more subscribers. They're brilliant minds. They're going to start doing their own content. They came out to Oklahoma City and Dallas and, created a lot of the magical moments. Vitamin Steve was bumping in system. You wouldn't believe all the people he had dancing on the block. I mean, it was hilarious. And, all the people in this picture, Wesley, the beautiful sisters who are actually mother and daughter. And they thought I was joking when you can see the resemblance, and they both are young and beautiful, and they really did look like sisters. I mean, it was entirely possible. You see me and my sister's a little bit older than me. She's my sister and my mom all at once, even though she hates me now for the gematria. But then, of course, you got one of the angels there. Both angels were out, but the other angel had to hit the road. Both angels were out in Dallas. You wouldn't believe the synchronicities between these two women. Erica right here. I'm pointing. Is my cursor showing up on the screen? Can you guys see where I'm pointing? Does that work? All right, here, let's do it this way. Starting from the left side of the picture. Big man up front, that's Vitamin Steve. Behind him is Sean from Tennessee. Both the men from Tennessee came out. Lee had to hit the road too, but we had Sean and Lee from Tennessee and Oklahoma City and Dallas. Neo the Hacker's directly behind Sean. So you got Vitamin Steve, Sean, Neo the Hacker on the left. Next to Neo the Hacker with the white cap is Jeremy White, who pounded pavement with me in Louisiana. Drove out all the way from Dallas to Louisiana. Wesley next to him, who was with us in Oklahoma City. Directly below him is Samia, who... Samia, your donation. You really didn't have to do that. I'm going to make that up to you. And I do really appreciate it, though. They were just out there with their gematria signs, their presence, helping wake people up, made some nice other contributions. Again, I got Samia hooked me up with all this astrology information in this packet. Her mother bought me some nice resources for other things to look into. Again, you got the mother and daughter right with Angel between them. Erica's just below the mother. By the way, the mother, also beautiful name, Teresa. But just beneath Teresa is Erica. And then, of course, I'm right next to them. And then right down there in the middle with the two fingers up here, like, oh, he's Baphomet. No, that's Blake, man. And Blake came out, had a lot to say. And, again, just meeting all these people. And, again, just the diversity of the group. The diversity of the group. Here's us across the street from the Oklahoma City Memorial. You got the Matrix right up front. I can't remember everybody's name. Sorry, but again, you see the sisters. You see Fake Mike, Real News. You see the men from Michigan. You see RPM Trey, Vietnam, and his cousin. They came out from Iowa. Representing the First Amendment, and big strong man who pounds pavement in California, gets the word out with his sweet lady. People who were just walking by who didn't plan to be part of the group. Denise, who had to get jailed on the way there, which was the real tragedy. Paul and his wife Desiree. Well, just so many weird synchronicities. But if you guys watched when I was live streaming on the way down there, I was laughing that I was driving past exit 201 and it was called Paul. And I was like, man, isn't it funny that in Idaho this exit for 201 is Paul, and I just have this whole thing with Paul and how much of a negative impact Paul had in my life, and then just this 201 cabal. Well, anyway, guess who shows up to the rally is Paul, who's redeemed the name in a million ways by showing up and greeting us in the way he did with his wife. But Paul shows up, who's there in Oklahoma, and brings two huge 201 contributions that we didn't know about before. And so that was the thing about just coming together, too. Just more minds coming together, more knowledge, more information. Daria coming, making her contributions, everybody else. But Paul comes and says, Zach, I got two more 201s for Oklahoma City, April 1995. And I was like, no way, what are they? And he's like, Richard Snell equals 201. He plotted to blow up the same building in 83, and he was put to death April 19th, 95. And then Daria caught that he was raided and arrested on April 19th, 1985. Also April 19th. Again, that's Ignatius Loyola Day, the original 201. But then he also caught that the man who founded the white supremacist camp in Arkansas, his name is 201, Richard G. Millar, where Timothy McVeigh was radicalized. And again, Clinton was the president from Arkansas. But I'm just like, what are the odds of that? A man named Paul comes with these two huge 201 contributions, which I already thought it was over the top, but now it's way over the top. And again, I just, on the way down there, I was laughing at the exit 201 was called Paul. I was like, exit 201 for Paul, huh? What are the odds of these things? Just all the synchronicities that happen, the Eric thing, the angel thing, just so many things. So many things. We're outside at University of Oklahoma, outside the journalism building. And then the next day, that was the day before April 19th, and then April 19th, the head of that school just happens to be there at the site, and we have a really good conversation with him. And again, you know, head of journalism, he's also one of the main founders of CNN, which he made the point of in 1980. But he sat there and listened to me, and he didn't say, oh, that sounds kooky or a conspiracy theory. He said, you're very intelligent. Like, holy shit, this guy's figuring out what we're doing. But, you know, I see Hassan right there. Hassan, very generous young man, had to come back and put $50 in my hand. And again, shout out to all the people who donated. That there was about $200 in cash donations as well as there. So thank you to everyone who donated. It did help make the trip less expensive. There was a lot more expenses than money that came in, but that's okay. And I mean, ultimately, there are people that support the Patreon every month, and there are good resources coming in. Again, thank you to everyone who supports the Patreon. I do get a lot of resources. I am one of the most funded people in the truth community. I mean, I do acknowledge all that. And despite all that, there still isn't enough, and we do need a lot more to make a lot more happen in the world. Also, of course, in this photo, you see Kayla. Kayla came out with her sweet lady. And, you know, it was really nice to meet Kayla and Chigozi Truth. And I think Chigozi showed up right after this photo, so he's actually not in the picture. But yeah, everybody who came out, awesome contributions, awesome conversations, awesome chemistry. And all I got to say is, again, next year, let's do it again. Let's make it even bigger. And who knows, maybe by next year, we're a lot better funded. And next year, we rent out a whole hotel or something. You know what I mean? It would be cool if we all had the same hotel building in town. Airbnb, I don't think is there a big enough Airbnb to get, 100 people in there? Probably not. But a hotel could be done. So, yeah, again, we got to do this stuff annually, you guys. The big anniversary dates in this country, we got to make it an annual thing where the truth community shows up and says, we're not going to stop until justice is achieved. We're going to be here. Here, you don't like us here this year? Well, guess what? We're going to be back next year, and we're going to be here until you do like us, and you hear what we're saying, and you see what we're about, because we're actually here for everybody. We're here for not just the group, but we're even here for you, the haters. Again, all of you guys who are living in the sand and not seeing what's going on, we're actually here for you. So you don't have to be a guinea pig. So you don't have to live in fear, needless fear. So you don't have to live in a world of needless pollution, your water, your food, your air supply, all the things the psychopaths are doing. But anyhow, it was a very good experience, you guys. And again, if you weren't there and you feel like you missed out, just don't miss out next time. Plan, save money. And again, there's a lot of ways to save money. A lot of people spend a lot of their money on food and alcohol they don't need. Junk food and alcohol. How much money do you spend each year on junk food and alcohol? Cigarettes. I know everyone's got their vices and addictions, and I'm not saying, you got to go cold turkey on these things, but how much money could you save if you even cut back on those things? Could you afford $1 a month for the work? I mean, that's the thing. I know there's a lot of people who are awake to the lies, but ultimately, what are they doing? Nothing speaks more in this world, in this financial-based world, than how you spend your dollars. If you're about the truth, but then all of your financial resources are going to the same evil corporations that run the government and the food supply, what are you ultimately doing? You have the information, you have the knowledge, but where's the wisdom? You're not acting on it. You're still, you're still essentially sponsoring and investing in the evildoers, but for whatever reason, you don't got a buck for the movement. You know what I mean? What can you get for $1 at the store? A small bag of Doritos? How many people each month who've never contributed $1 have bought a lot of little small bags of Cheetos and Doritos? My guess is a lot. So just imagine 1 million people in the world say, you know what, I'm going to forego this bag of Doritos that I actually don't need, and this month, instead of that $1 on the Doritos or the Pepsi or the sugar energy drink that's also not good for you, that's actually really bad for you, instead of doing that, I'm going to invest in the truth this month. I'm going to invest in a movement to make the world better this month. So, and I hate to ask people to donate even more than $1, but honestly, for all the people who donate $1 right now who can afford $2 a month, you know, maybe sponsor the one person who doesn't, because we do got to figure out a way to get more resources to make more happen. And again, you guys, I am saving up what I don't already spend on the movement to make something happen. And ultimately, like if Right said, you can buy 30 acres of land for $300,000 and it already has housing and a community of 20 people or so could live there. That might end up being what I do with the money that's saved up so far. I might say, you know what, you guys, I'm buying this land and, you know, you're going to have to come out and bring some kind of contribution because right now there's only 20 people to live there, but you are invited. Because I know if I did that, only so many people would show up, right? There's only so many people be like, you know what, I'm going to drop everything and go there. But people would come. And in time, more people would come, and we'd need more resources to have more housing. But, yeah, if we can't wake up the world and we can't stop the tyranny, the next option is to get to a place where we can have a better life. And, again, you better think about that, because if you don't hear what I'm saying, you might find, like, maybe you've been able to avoid the pokes so far. But with what they're saying is coming, we're only going to be able to avoid that little pokey for so long. And that is my biggest, again, I don't like to live in fear, but my biggest fear is that the pokey is going to be at my door one day. And, you know, obviously I'd resist, but I imagine the resistance will be you get put in the camp and then you get the pokey there in restraints. So, and that would be the way I'd be getting the pokey. But, yeah, who wants that experience? And I just think about, you know, I think about everybody here having to go through that, but who I think about most is, you know, all the women. And I, you know, who I honestly think about the most, I think about that beautiful young 19-year-old girl who came out, who donated $120 of her own money and time and was there with her mother. And I just think about, like, she's exactly what I've been worried about for all these years. She's 19 now. She's a young woman. But that's what I used to always think about after 9/11. You know, she's born after 9/11. I used to think, like, what kind of world are kids about to be born into? What kind of world are they about to grow up in? Like, what's their life experience going to be like? And you know what? I mean, the girl who came out, she just radiates. She's above it all. She's persevering. She's in a good place. But, I mean, she could end up in a world where her and her mother are hauled off. And they're getting the pokey. And hopefully they're not drawing the short stick. You know what I mean? And how horrible is that to think about for anybody? So, again, I'm calling on all people, especially all men, you know. What kind of world are we leaving for the young people? What kind of world are we leaving for everybody? And historically, you know, again, some women feel discriminated against when I say things, but historically, I mean, it's the men who are given, you know, a little bit more physical gift. That said, you know, shout out to Kayla. I bet if I had to fight Kayla, I'd be in trouble, man. Kayla's a tough one. Kayla, man. Kayla, woo. I'm so glad. It was good to meet Kayla. By the way, Kayla posted a photo of her and I, man. I just got up and Kayla looks great in the photo, but I look like I'm a extra from The Walking Dead. Kayla, you and I are gonna have to meet again to get a better picture together. I'm like, oh my God, look at myself, man. I was tired and I just gotten up and my hair was all messed up. But anyway, it was good to be with Kayla. The photo made me laugh. I was like, well, at least Kayla looks nice. But yeah. Anyway, you guys. Let's make the world a better place. People like Brian, please either put up or shut up. I mean, this stuff is making me sick. And again, I mean, and let's also support everybody else in the community. There should be a lot of new channels coming up. Truth and Justice for You, brand new. Let's see if their numbers are up since I promoted it. 29. We got 10 more people there. Hey, let's get them up to at least 100 subs today. It feels good to hit that 100 sub milestone. Let me link that one more time in the chat. There should be 100 people who can subscribe to this channel, Truth and Justice for You. But, And again, just people who came out. This man right here, you know, he is very well spoken, and he's about the First Amendment rights. Support this man. This man speaks very well, very clearly, and it might seem intimidating to some people because he's got weapons on, but he's about the First Amendment, and he carries around a sign that says "Hug a AR owner," and he's a great guy. RPM Trey Vietnam, I'm going to have him on. We're going to have to collaborate. I just want people to hear him speak just like how he spoke to me in Oklahoma City. Very well spoken, right on point. And again, he's going through this thing where he has an 18-year-old son, and his son's kind of treating him like he's a conspiracy theorist, and it's breaking his heart, and he's trying to break through to his son about how he needs to wake up to what's going on at this day and age. But, yeah, that will be coming. And, again, just, everybody was there. Kayla Decode Talker. She was there. Support Kayla, of course. Kayla Decode Talker. Chigozi Truth. Chigozi. Next time, get there earlier. But I'm glad he came out, man. It was great to meet Chigozi. And, yeah, of course, Right the Matrix. Yeah, Right the Matrix was there. He's got several channels. He lost his whole channel the day of streaming. They took down mine for copyright. They took down his whole channel. Nothing. There was no reason to take any of it down. They just didn't want people to see the beautiful thing that transpired. Rob Antico has a channel. He captured some things. This is his channel. Well, I thought you had more videos. But he has an hour-long video here from that day. So he's got some coverage of it. Who am I forgetting right now? There's more people, you guys. Oh. Fake Mike Real News. I noticed he captured a lot of things, and he's just uploading it a day at a time. Doesn't want to overwhelm his viewers, but he's got a lot of videos here from being in Oklahoma City. So, Fake Mike Real News. We're trying to wake him up to the Gematria. You can tell he kind of thinks the Gematria is a coincidence, and he doesn't want to blame the Jesuits. He's real caught up on the Jeffrey Epstein Pizzagate thing. He doesn't understand that those are Jesuit psyops to keep you from saying Catholic Church, but he'll get it in time. He'll get it in time, Fake Mike Real News. So, and by the way, Fake Mike Real News, if you're out there, I got to say, one criticism, it might have been this video right here. There's a video where you were asking a man about if he was sexually abused by Mr. Hastert, which is very possible. And then when he didn't respond, you said, like, you're a loser, you're doing the walk of shame. There are a lot of people in this world that are sexually abused. I used to work in a group home, so I know just how many children are sexually abused. The guy really might be a loser at this point, and he might have been doing the walk of shame, but just, I wouldn't put all that together so quick in a sentence, because ultimately it's going to reflect poorly on you, that you're asking somebody if they're sexually abused, and then you're calling them a loser, and then you're saying they're doing the walk of shame. So, and sometimes I say things that make me look bad too, but I'm just saying, there really are a lot of people who've been sexually abused in this world, just not people who are around Dennis Hastert. It's kind of mind-blowing how many people have been sexually abused. You work in group homes, you start to see how it's an epidemic. And, don't we live in a crazy world? It's just amazing. It's amazing. You work in a group home, you see how many children have been sexually abused by their own parents, and how many parents pimp out their own children too. It's crazy. But, all of this is happening because the evil that controls this world, and just all the evil influence and all the desperation and all the poverty. It mostly happens where poverty is, because where there's poverty, there's more abuse, and that's because of depression and drugs and alcohol, and it's a vicious cycle. And but yeah, just when I watched that, I was like, oh man, he should have done that a little bit different. So I would try not to do that one again. But I know where he's coming from too. He's just sick of all the frauds and the people who won't speak up. And also, if you ever encounter a cop like the one in Oklahoma City, I don't think you should turn off your camera. I think because on your channel, you could have said, you know what? I'm doing something different in this video. I'm showcasing this man right here because this is a model police officer. We had a police officer. Well, here, just to tell you something. Here, I'm actually going to... He recaptured him in this video, and he wasn't acting as cool in this video, probably because we interacted with him days before this. This man right here who's shorter right here, the cop right in the middle on his bike. Right in the middle. This is the day of April 19th. But it was a day or two prior. We were walking around Oklahoma City, and there's a really nice church there that's called Frontline. It's what's etched on the building. It used to be a Catholic church. It was abandoned apparently for 30 years. I talked to the minister and leader of the church there and had an interesting conversation with him. But somebody spotted that on the window. I can't remember if it was Kayla who spotted it or Angel who spotted it, or it might have been somebody else. Somebody spotted that on the window of this church was IHS, the Jesuit acronym. So that made me curious, and I went in the church, and I talked to the minister, and he told me that what happened is after the 95 bombing, all the windows were blown out on the church. Windows all over Oklahoma City were blown out. The whole town lost its windows the day of the explosion. But the minister of the church told me that an artist came and volunteered to put in new stained glass windows. And in one of the windows, they put IHS. And, of course, that's the Jesuit thing, right? And we know it's the Jesuits who did that day. So was the free sponsorship or, the willingness to come in and put in the new free stained glass windows? Was that from the same Jesuits who pulled off the ritual? You know what I mean? He thought it was pretty interesting when I shared all that with him because he didn't know about April 19th and Ignatius Loyola or the code, but he listened very clearly and he thanked me for his time. But when I came out, this cop was out there and he was opening up about how, he was in the military and they were going to make him take the pokey poke, but he didn't want to do that. And he was only 2 years from retirement. And they told him that if he retired early, he wouldn't get any of his retirement. And he was only 2 years from the deadline. But he didn't want the pokey poke, so he decided to retire and not get anything. And then he joined the police force here in Oklahoma City. That's what a lot of military does, right? They become police. And I think this guy gets it. Like, if there was ever a fallout day, this guy would get it. But this guy was so glad to be around us, the truth seekers, because he just opened up. He just started talking about, how much he didn't like what was going on. And I asked him, I said, ultimately, do you think police and military are good for society? And he knows. He's like, well, sometimes. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are definitely not good. And he's like, I try to do my best. And he was sincere. But then he even got into watch the water. That was like the viral thing at the time. That's the new watch the water equals 56 like society, Jesus like coronavirus like COVID vaccine. Anything that goes viral is a psyop. But and again, for you guys, if you guys can't wrap your mind around that, it's a fact. Anything that goes viral in the truth community is a psychological operations, period, because they suppress everything that they don't want out there. I mean, you guys should know that by now, and especially when it's coded with 56. I forget what the first thing was that went viral with the whole COVID thing. It was also coded 56, and I was pointing that out then too. I was like, what are the odds? Another viral thing in the truth community, 56. But anyway, this guy, he just opened up. He was talking. He just wanted to talk. And then he was saying, man, it was Easter. It was Easter Sunday. That's what day it was. It was Easter Sunday. And he kept saying, he's like, I got to go take my family out for dinner. But then he didn't want to leave. Then he'd talk for 20 more minutes. And then he's like, I got to get to Easter. But then he just kept talking. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be around the community and share his story and talk about what he saw going on in the world. And I mean, how many people have ever had an interaction like that with a cop in their life? So now you could tell if you watch this video on his channel, he was in a little bit different mood. This is about environment and stuff. He wasn't bad here. He wasn't bad or rude, but he's just around his other cop buddies and he's got to act more like he's part of the police force. But we got to see him when he was isolated and just opening up and just spilling everything that he had to share. So a lot of cool things happened. And again, it just showed the power of a truth seeker gathering. You got even cops doing things that they wouldn't normally do. So, but I was going to say, if there ever was a fallout, I feel like that guy would join us. He'd fight on our side. So, at least I would hope so. I'm not sure about the guys around him. So, anyway. Oh, hold on. I was going to sign off, but apparently some more people got generous. So, let me say thank you to the super chatters. There's $17 more here since I looked last. And 1 second. Shy Divine, who definitely came out. Thank you. And Shy Divine, you really didn't have to do that. Shy Divine gave me a $100 bill. Huge donation. And now she just gave another $5. some people are just super generous people, and I wish there were more of them in the world, but I'm grateful for all that there are. And Shy Divine, seriously, you don't ever need to give another donation. I know you donated before. Again, $100, that's a lot. To me, that's a lifetime donation. I mean, I just wish everyone would give $1 a month. Think about what that is. That's 8 years of pledging. It's 8 years and 4 months, isn't it? 8 times 12, 96 plus 4. 8 years and 4 months is $100 of pledging $1 a month. The young 19-year-old girl, she gave $120 plus her mom donated, and that's 10 years of pledging $1 a month. And really, I mean it. People don't need to pledge more than $1 a month if we got enough people that are saying, yeah, I'm about this movement, and those people should be out there. But Shy Divine says, thank you, Zach. Money is nothing compared to the priceless knowledge you have shown us. Keep up the divine work. I appreciate that. Shy Divine goes by Cheyenne, and it was very nice to meet these people in the flesh. Michael Fisher said, take it to the limit one more time. Isn't that the Eagles song? Maybe you're the same one who left the comment the other day that I'm like that song. It's like it's about to end, but then it goes on again. And Michelle, $10, said, I'm trans-vaccinated. No need to get the poke since I already identify as vaccinated. Love you, truthers. Love you most. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. And D26 said, miss the SNS lot of new finds to share. Yeah, I need to finish my book before I get into your new finds. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like it needs to be at least another 20 pages. So, D26, you guys, make sure you're following him. D26 Creates. D26 Creates. Again, he's the Rookie of the Year right now in the decoding community. So, RPM Trey just left a comment. He said he'll be in Oklahoma next year too. I know he will. I hope he brings his cousin back. Hope his cousin's feeling better. Yeah, so. And by the way, if you guys weren't following me on Gematria Effect News 23, that's the channel I used at the beginning because I couldn't use Gematria Effect News 25 until after Sunday because the channel was suspended. It should have been unsuspended Sunday, but then it wasn't letting me post on Sunday. I was like, what is going on? 8-day suspension? So, anyway, Gematria Effect News 23 did a lot of videos here too as well. And here, just to show you a little quick gathering we had, short video, just to see some of the people that were with us that day. Here, let's just watch this real quick. Things you missed out on, like the father who brought his whole family. Check this out. Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Easter Sunday, April 17th. We got the gathering of the Gematria family all across the nation. We're going to have everybody say hello real quick. Some people already got to hit the road. They came in just to say hello. And we're going to start right here. Sean from Tennessee.
What's up, Truth Seekers?
Appreciate you coming out, man. And our friend from Houston.
Yeah, I'm from Houston. My name is Manny. I'm here with my kids, my family. I'm just happy to be here. And yeah.
Appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you for making the trek. 8 hours both ways, you guys. Brought the young ones. Steve, you got a message for the people?
Hey, Vitamin Steve to that list. Get your shit together, man. I'm tired of y'all wearing masks and stuff. Stop being slaves.
Indeed. Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
We're Americans. Americans don't wear slave masks.
Indeed.
I'm tired of y'all.
Indeed.
They're being a pussy.
The friend from Rhode Island. You got a message for the people?
Yeah, man, support everybody that's out there doing nonviolent activism. Get it out there yourself and share all the videos.
You want to promote your content?
Yeah, check out Auditing America and Fake Mike Real News and Demand the Truth.
Fake Mike, M-I-C,
Yeah.
Real News.
And check out Right the Matrix, the main man, the OG. He's been banned before it's cool, like you too, man. This guy's the original OG over here. Hashtag Right the Matrix on Google. Just search YouTube, Right the Matrix. Check out the man.
You got a message for the people?
Get your asses out. It's time. Get off the internet. It's time to just, link up with people.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
Time is now.
And our friend from Dallas? With the beautiful smile. Our friend from Austin?
if you want to.
It was great meeting everyone here in OKC and getting to chat about how we came across Gematria and sharing our common knowledge.
Indeed. Appreciate it, Austin. And we got the two angels at once. Think about that. And everyone knows this one, Caleb Decode Talker.
Happy to be here. Glad to meet everybody. Glad to meet the trip. Zach, of course, inspirational. Me, Seth, can't wait for Tuesday to actually pound the pavement and see who will actually listen. I think we'll crack some
Absolutely.
give them the thank you. So excited for that.
Absolutely. And we got Corey.
What's up, baby? We in Okie Dokie City, baby. Yeah, I'm dealing with the Gematria fam. So, one love, y'all.
And we got Chris from Chicago.
Just here to support Zach and everything he does. You know, we got to get the truth out. You know, there's strength in numbers, and that's it.
Appreciate you making the drive. It's a long one.
800 miles.
And we can't forget the cameraman from Jersey.
The camera recording the camera.
What's up, Greg?
I'm from Jersey City. I'm happy to be here, and yeah, let's do it.
You want to say hi to your mom?
Oh yes, I'd like to give a shout out to the wonderful lady Desiree Taylor, my mother. Thank you, Mom. I love you.
Indeed. And shout out to my mom too. She wanted to be here, but there will always be a next time. So, any closing words from any of the Truth Seekers?
Oh, hey. I already said my piece, but I'm gonna say it again. Stop being a bitch. Do not comply. Hey, the government asks us for permission. They work for us. Remember that.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, Truth Seekers. Thanks for everyone who's here in spirit, and we'll see you soon. Tuesday's just 2 days away. Until next time.
All right. So, I mean, just one of many great moments. And again, September 11th, 2022, New York, it's got to happen. I got to admit, sweet lady, after she heard Denise got arrested, she's a little bit freaked out now. She's like, I'm not sure if I want to do it now. And I'm just like, we got to do it. They wanted to scare us. Again, if you guys do go out, I highly suggest if you do travel to the event, go with somebody else so they don't pick on you. It does seem that Denise, they made some kind of ritual out of her, which is terrible. And again, Denise, if you do need some financial support for help, you be sure to contact me. You got my number. And yeah, maybe drive as well if you can. Just stay out of the airports. I intend to drive. It's an even longer drive, but yeah, I don't want to support the airports because, you know, they're a big part of the agenda. I mean, that's obvious as everything. So anyhow, we will leave it there for now. Again, thank you to everyone who supported the Oklahoma City April 19th trip. Thank you to everyone who wanted to be there but couldn't, but who was there in spirit. And again, I hope you guys are on board with what I'm saying about doing this annually. Annually. I hope to God somebody has the footage of what got taken down too. I really do want that video back. It really does annoy me that they took down that video. I mean, it's to be expected, but and if my mom's out there, like I told you, Mom, they take down videos when you look real good. Like the reason the video stays up from my confrontation with the security guards at the museum is because some people could look at that video and say, well, you made yourself look bad by some of the things you said. So they want that up there. That's the kind of video the trolls like because they can chop that up and make me look bad like they like to do in their compilation videos. But they took down the video of the stream on April 19th because there was nothing there that you could make anyone... You couldn't make anyone that was part of our community look bad from any of that. We just look good. The cops look bad. The security guards look bad. You know. The news personalities running away from the truth, they look bad. But, and that's the thing too. I mean, the news showed right up. We have a group of like 50, 60 people, and the news just walks right past us, zero interest, and goes and does their little, their little shot of, just getting the typical talking points in there. By the way, something that I did notice is that one of the news teams that was there was wearing, everybody in the news team was wearing the brand The North Face. And I decided to just look past and say that could be a coincidence. Because, again, there's a whole bunch of 201s on the Oklahoma City ritual, right? There's a whole bunch of 201s on the day that happened. There's probably more 201s in Oklahoma City than any other event we're aware of. And I did see one of the news teams was wearing all North Face gear, the camera people, everybody. And I just was like, okay, maybe they're just sponsored by the North Face and it's coincidence. But what's weird is then I watched A Noble Lie. Again, let's see if it's still up. Chris Emery did say he was going to pull him down. But it's his documentary. Well, it's up here. It's up here. In the beginning of the video, it talks, and I quote, it says, "The north face of the building was blown off. The north face of the building was blown off." And I was like, wow, so maybe it's not a coincidence that the news team that was there on April 19th was all in the North Face gear. It is another 201. I doubt the people in the news crew wearing it even realize. I mean, I'm going to have to look more into the brand, the North Face. And yeah, I do wear that red North Face hoodie all the time. But again, I got that thing at what do they call that store? TJ Maxx for $30. I wear it all the time because it's warm. But, yeah, so again, at first I was thinking, oh, that's got to be a coincidence. But then I watched A Noble Lie, and right at the beginning it says, the north face of the building was blown off. So now I'm wondering. And I bet Rambo can connect that more with why they would do that to the north. I'm sure there's we know everything they do is symbolic. But anyway, we'll leave it there for now. Lots of work to do. By the way, let me put myself back on the screen real quick so I can show Chris out there. Chris, I have not put your thing in the mail yet, but I'm going to go to the post office right now. This is for Chris. Accidentally left this in my car, but I'm going to go send your thing back, Chris. I got your text message with the address, so I will put it in the mail today. I'll text you the tracking number, and sorry that happened. He's got a nice he had his materials ready to go. He printed off the PDF document. He has this nice Gematria guide right here, so I will be sending it right back to you. He's got a bunch of the Richard Quinn printed out items, so he just accidentally left it in the car. I like how he printed out the Patrick Dragon Sandy Hook thing. That's funny. So anyway, so Richard Quinn, this should make you happy too. Chris, model guy, great bowler. Somehow I'm going to have to dub my face over Chris's face to get the bowling highlights out there. That was me, not Chris. But anyway, I'm going to send that today. Our post office isn't open out here on the weekend, so it opens up on Monday. That's the disadvantage of living in a small town. We have no post office on Saturday, but yeah. All right, things to do, books to finish, and the other thing that's going to be cool, you guys, September 11th, 2022, we're going to be handing out the new books. I'm going to have a whole bunch of them made just to be handed out, signed copies for all of you guys. I'm going to put a big investment into September 11th, 2022. That's going to be a big investment. I don't know, the printing cost of the book's gone up because I made it bigger than I expected, but I'm not joking. I'm going to print out like at least $5,000 worth of books for that day for us to give out to New York. You guys can go home with books. Everybody who shows up to that event gets as many books as we can afford to divvy up and give out. So, again, Book Baby, who prints my book, is right there in Brooklyn. So, we'll get some kind of like U-Haul van loaded up with boxes of books. God, what's all-day parking cost in New York? It's probably like at least $50. Anyway, it'll be worth it, though. But we're going to do whatever it takes, and we're going to try to wake New York up to some serious knowledge. So, Fake Mike Real News said they tried to do a gathering for the 20-year anniversary. He's part of a channel that has several 100,000 subscribers, and they were only able to get about 20 to 30 people out there. That's why everyone in the truth community needs to promote this event. And I'm going to have to be lobbying Sweet Lady real hard because she did overhear the story about Denise. And then last night she's like, I don't want you to go to New York anymore, but I'll win her back over. It's got to happen. You know, Sweet Lady, she gets spooked by everything. And you have to realize, I mean, Sweet Lady's seen a lot of weird shit happen in the time I've been doing this. She's watched me lose everything and the house be destroyed and, you know. But yeah, you know, I mean, you just got to persuade your Sweet Lady. You got to be the man of the house. So anyway, we'll make it happen. Book your calendar. I know a lot of you guys are saying before September 11th possible, but 9/11, that's the date we got to make it happen. I mean, that's the day, that's the event that people really need to wake up to. So, all right, Truth Seeker. Have a great rest of your day. And make sure I got everything here. Yeah, we got it all. Oh, hold on. Somebody else gave a super chat. I got to say one more thank you before we wrap it up. I don't know why they don't make it easier to get to your super chat. You got to click through like a bunch of windows, unless you see it in real time. Miss Mildred. Miss Mildred with the 201. I appreciate it. You know what it is? That the link to buy the book, that's just the Google censorship. They figure out a way to kill that link. That's why it's so annoying, Google. All the things they have to stop communication. Getting rid of comments, censoring videos, killing links. It's just like, God, this is pathetic, man. And that's the reason, you guys, we have to get out and stand up, because there's so many forces to stop us from sharing information. Google is working so hard to stop the sharing of information. Fake Mike, real news. You got to wake up, my man, more than you are. Google recognizes its birthday on September 27th because it's the day the Jesuits are recognized by Rome. Sundar Pichai equals 201 like the Jesuit order. This stuff's not a coincidence. You know, we got Fake Mike, real news on camera going, I don't think it's the Jesuits. I wouldn't say that. I'm not sure about the Gematria thing. Fake Mike, you're going to look back at all this if you wake up and you're going to be like, man, I was asleep. And he's not totally asleep, but Fake Mike, real news, I appreciate you, my man, but you're 50% asleep. You're going to wake up, though, so. And also, you know, not to be past judgment, I smoke weed, too, but there is such a thing as smoking too much weed. You know, some people, I think, are smoking too much weed. So, anyway, we'll leave it there for now. And, again, thank you to everyone who shares and supports the work. Everyone who needs to come around to the work, I hope you do. Please stop supporting the people in this community who intend nothing but to, you know, make money off the content they put out. Again, you guys, just take notes. Look at all the big channels that still remain on YouTube. Are they doing anything? Can you point to anything they're actually doing besides, you know, telling you the same old, telling you the earth is flat, telling you to support Donald Trump? Anyway. You should see over here we're doing a lot more than that. And we're trying to do way more than we've already done. But it's going to take resources, and it's going to take people realizing that the work's worth $1 a month. So if you can donate more than $1, please do. I appreciate it. But again, $1 a month is more than enough. All the people out there are like, I'm not going to do it because it's only $1. Again, how many of you are saying the same thing so it's not happening? Don't be that person. All right, Truth Seeker. Till next time.